audio real quick. Let's see here. All right. How's that audio? Can you guys hear me? This music is so calm. Oh, I'm too loud? Okay. Which is too loud, the music or me? Turn myself down here. Down to 60%. The music is loud. Okay. Music is Let's go to the music here. Down to studio mode. Yeah, this is kind of why I move my music to external so I can control it more directly with real knobs. How's that now? Music should be really low. Yeah. So I've since then I've changed my configuration, so now I'm streaming my music up from Apple Music. So today's boring show, this is a really, really, really boring show. It's excruciatingly boring, really. And so I'm doing a demo of a lyrics screen. So for songs that I want to play, I want to actually be able to put the words up with some of the songs. How you doing, Say Light? Appreciate it. And I want to show like this idea of like this cover right here. Like this cover has the stuff that I want to cover in this show. There's a lyrics demo cover. There's Chantel DNA, which is a new fictional character that's not based on anyone that you know. There is the debate format that I want to use for, I want to demo for LV, which is just how you can just put a piece of media on a scene and have it switch based on that media. So that media could be a 2-minute timer, and after 2 minutes it switches to another scene. So you could have people go back and forth with the timer. The way you saw this show start, all of those switches were automatic based on the song. When the song ended, it switched to the next scene that it was programmed to switch to. And so the goal is just to show how you can do all these things easily in EVMux, and you can't do them at all in StreamYard. Yeah, it's like a cover of a magazine. Remember those things, the magazines back in the olden days? This is what's in the magazine. It's what's in the episode. And yeah, I should actually highlight what I'm talking to, huh? That's kind of crazy. So the first thing, I want to show the music demo. This song is finished. Just cut that off. I really want the music to be able to fade. That's also something I'm considering. Like building the fading into the, it should be part of the actual program, but I've already put in a request for that. So the first thing, let's look at the music. Well, we just did a bunch of music. Let's look at the video first. I'm going to let you guys look at Chantel DNA while I get this other thing set up real quick.
Or the other dude, it's just like, it's the lion for me. It's telling me he's sent me $500 and he going over there, got Stargate over there, and got all these other women that don't be hitting my link for the very reason just to get me. Like, yo, what's he doing? What is he about? What does he know? And then I'm listening to his content. I don't like people that trying to sound like they know something about YouTube, and it's just dumb. They sound dumb.
Okay, that makes sense now. I'm tracking what you're saying. I can hear you on that.
And I just want to just trying to expose these clowns, these narcissists, these people that's really jealous. They're the ones hating. And then I'm trying to work with them And then he had my bro, like he had some, like he could go into a lot of shit. Like he's a weirdo, dog. He's a weirdo, and I don't like to be around weirdos. Like I'll just be watching from the side, like, yo, I've been like, I don't need you for him to even say, I'll never hit your link because you on StreamYard and all this other shit. Like, come on, man, I don't mess with people like that. But then they want to go live and drop the link and expect everybody to just run to them. And they don't even put in no work. They just want to play some songs and dance and just sit there and try to sound all calm. I think that's just some fake ass shit. And then he ain't even ADOS. And then he want to play all the ADOS music. He don't want to give it up to Nigeria, play some Nigerian music and whatnot. Try to act like he's smart. Try to act like he know about slavery and the struggle. And he ain't even struggled even on these YouTube streets. You know, sound like you know about the algorithm and who makes money and how much money they make, you know, for shorts and not shorts. You ain't making no money off of shorts. Like, what the fuck you know?
How much YouTube paid me for shorts with 10 million views. But for now, AdSense made me $10, so a lot less than what it would have been if it was a long video.
What do you know?
I feel you. Okay, that makes perfect sense now. I see where it's coming from now. Seems to be a
that
valid
same
point.
men and honor stuff. It's like that. And then and these corny women, they just keep running the corny people like that. It's just weird. Like, that's your man keeper. You like niggas like that?
You're not.
He ain't even got no money like because if he did, he would have put his money where his mouth was. Because if he want to talk about it and lie, just pay some money to get her back on. Why you gotta lie about it? I don't do that. I don't be trolling people like that. Yo, I just sent you 500. I went with it because I was just trying to study him and see where he's going with his lie. But he ain't going nowhere. He's going to get people to come to his chat, making him seem like he's popular. But he know he's boring. He ain't got shit to talk about. But he trying to sound like he's calm and collect, saying the same old thing. I'm calm. Photon isn't. I'm the calm one. I'm the smarter one. I'm collect. Look, but he ain't got nobody coming over there. And they only going over there just to save face, because they could tell he a lonely, desperate fuck nigga.
You're not.
And then once they see he ain't even keeping them at. He's not dancing with them. He's like, oh, this nigga can't even dance. He don't even know nothing about in technology or nothing. He's just a one-trick pony, just playing music like the rest of them. I'm out.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Unless you really desperate and lonely or a robot, they'll just stay there because shit, he's on their nuts. So, and that's what I see over there. That's what's going on over there. He ain't hit my Cash App. That's another thing. I'm dealing with real people, real life situations. I'm trying to grow this channel, and this man want to come on my channel talking about I'll never hit your link like the rest of them. That's why the sector ain't going nowhere, because they ain't never hitting links. They just want to take all the women and seem like they the giver of all needs and all that shit. He ain't giving out nothing but hate.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
But when I expose and talk about them, even if I'm talking loud and yada yada, speaking all fast and cussing and whatnot, yo, take that aside and really listen and evaluate the truth. Really. They trying to come over here, these immigrants, and try to take over our shit and act like, oh yeah, yo don't deserve it because you ain't no hard workers. What you working on? What you been hard working on? Acting like they so smart and whatnot, but they mopping floors and fixing broken screens and whatnot. Because they obviously they haven't mastered this YouTube stuff, or they would be popping. They haven't mastered Avismo because he wanted to have all this music over talking him and got all these weirdo ass verticals this way and that way. It's a shit show over there. And I'm here to expose these cornballs, one cornball at a time. Shout out to Lynn and Honor.
You can tell him this thing is off, you hear me?
Why?
Because you don't love him, that's why. I know. I've been with you. You love me, baby.
That's that. So this is like a format to demo to show video, and I'm looking at how big is that on the phone. Anybody on the phone? Thank you, YN. The beginning. Did you notice the voice in the beginning? Who's that sound like? That's what's crazy about voice changes now.
Or the other dude, it's just like, it's the lying for me. It's telling me he sent me $500 and he going over there, got Stargate over there and got all these other women that don't be hitting my link.
This is the
The
same
very
person.
reason just to just get me, like, yo, what's he doing?
Oh, I
What
see
is he
what's
about?
happening.
What does he know? And then I'm listening to his content. I don't like people that trying to sound like they know something about YouTube, and it's just dumb. They sound dumb.
Yeah, YM, it is now. So in today's voice changers, the recent ones, you don't have to, you used to be, you have to write, you used to be able to have to transcribe and then put the text in and have it read back in its own persona. But now you can actually stretch the voice across somebody else's expression. So like if you were doing a script and you were acting out all the parts, you can act out all the parts in the full emotion and then pick the right voice for each one and then act out your whole screenplay. That's originally why I got into the voice thing and the AI thing, was looking for how to animate scripts. And but it's to that point where now you can actually just take and completely change a voice with the same full expression, exactly the way that they talk. And in these kind of situations, like online, people that try to strike content over their voice will have a hard time. It's always been possible, but the thing is, how easy was it? Everything with AI is possible on computers. All that's been possible the whole time. Use a deepfake stuff. It was possible to do deepfake in 1983. It's just how much resources did it take? You had to know how to do it. You had to go frame by frame through a video and replace each one with the appropriate picture. The only thing that's happening now is it's easier to do it, and it's really simple to do. And all of the for pay projects are created by an academic project. So I started in AI with the academic projects and following them all the way through to where they became commercial products. Send you some instructions. And then what happens with it is that after all this complexity of making all of this stuff and getting down to it, when it gets to the consumer, it just becomes like something that they click. And they have no real understanding or respect for all that went into making that thing. And so you end up with, with all this technology being used to beef. Like, it's crazy. Well, I think I sent you. I think I sent you to this place before, but it's progressed since then. Over the last 9 months, it's really progressed a lot. And I think that people don't realize that the more you use the AI tools, you are training the AI tools. So the more you use them, the better they become. I sent you what? Don't make me pull out the receipts, screenshots. What everybody does. Oh, I was thinking about that, the screenshots thing and the people showing emails and all of that. And that's like equivalent of breaking the fourth wall in a drama when they just start talking directly to the audience. I was playing around with this concept of where's it at? The music still playing here? Let's see. Let me not get sidetracked and stick with my boring agenda. And I think what's next is the lyrics demo. And that's somebody done stole my lyrics. Hold on a second. Should be in scene number 8, right there. Okay, let me find my music here real quick. Next up, I got a playlist. Let's start out with, I know you don't know this song, Ryan. I guarantee you don't know this song. Guarantee. Let's see. Gotta be one that has lyrics. Let's try, oh, this is kind of like, let me use this. Looks like Marvin Gaye. You might know this song. Okay. Get to my volume control.
Hey, baby girl.
or the other dude. It's just like it's the lying for me. It's telling me he sent me $500 and he going over there got Stargate over.
All this time.
Oh, now we glitching. Catch up with me, sir. Evie Mux is protesting. There we go.
All these signs, but never saying a word. See now I'm not trying to figure you out. So how about you? Tell me what you wanna do, so I can give you all you want. If you just say it, so say it, baby. I can understand if you're not ready. If you need me to be patient, I'm cool with waiting. We can take our time, let's get it right. Make it
Can you even see that? It's just getting garbled up. I see you putting it on.
forgive me if I
I'm gonna get rid
come
of this,
across too
studio.
forward, baby. And if I offended you in any way, baby, see, I just wanna get next to you, 'cause being closer makes it better when I get to know you.
See what
baby.
happened?
Tell me how am I supposed to do
Right.
that when you keep leading
Why you do
me
that?
on and you keep pushing me away? When I know, yes I do, that you really want
You didn't
me
want
to
it, okay?
stay, baby. Ooh, I can understand. I know you're not ready, baby. If you need me, patient, yeah. Oh, ooh, we can take our time, yeah. Let's get it right. That's forever, babe. I can understand if you need to be patient, yeah. Always cool with me. We can take our time, let's get it right. Make it last forever. Look, baby, I know you want it, baby. I know what you want. I feel you, 'cause I can feel that you need me.
I got it.
But you seem to be just
I got direct control of the guy.
That's cool.
I can move
Okay,
keys.
it's alright. 'Cause I want you, baby.
Hear that? I Want You reference. That's to Marvin Gaye, 1976.
I'm willing to wait, just as long as you know that I want you, girl. But
What you saying, CC?
you say it's okay,
Yeah, I'll be talking. I should be muted. You know.
'cause I want you, but I want you to want me too.
I'm really interested in all these songs that reference I Want You.
'Cause I want you to want me
There's a bunch of them.
as bad as I want you.
So even now, is the music still out?
If you're not ready,
Turned down on my mixer.
and if you
Is it still
need
coming
me
through
to be
loud?
patient with you, that's cool. I'll take my time with you, baby. I'll take my time, as much time as you need.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Right, girl. And make it last forever. 'Cause I don't want
Just,
you to feel like I'm here for now and gonna be gone tomorrow. 'Cause I want this to be the beginning of a beautiful relationship. Do you feel that, baby? I mean, can you understand that? And that's real. That's from my heart.
Oh, I see. But then it has to be over here.
Word on the street is you gave Miss Walking papers in. Well, I want to be the man that my daddy raised me to be. My mama taught me to be. See, baby. Guess who loves you more? Guess who loves you more?
Did you really just ask me who that was? Oh my God. I know you know that song though. The Trip. playing with the delay. Like it's a delay of like 5 seconds.
My darling, darling baby, I wanna restore your hope. Forget about the past. This thing's gonna last.
That first song was Music Soul Child, and the this is Raheem Devon, and you hear that Earth, Wind, and Fire bass line.
Guess who loves you more? Love you more. Love you more. That's right. Baby, my love for you could never be measured. Girl, I treasure. And each day, my love multiplies for you.
Yeah, so the lyrics thing works well if you got to leave everything. It's sharing a screen, so I'm actually stealing the lyrics from Apple Music's player. So it's a screen share, and I've isolated it down to the lyrics on this one page, and then I chroma keyed it based on white to take away the background, so all you got left is the words. And the way it works is it shows the gray, the lyrics is coming up, and then it turns to black for the lyric that's being sung. The thing I was concerned with though is the sync up between the media share, screen share, and the music, and is it synced up or not? That's what I want to see in the demo. And you see it's a little bit off the lyric and what's coming across in the music. So the better use would just be to make the lyric video completely and to just play it in that spot. It'll be synced up properly. But if you are using EV Mux and you want to play your music from an external source, like I'm playing this from a physical device, then you can just through the audio share. Thomas, Glenn Lewis, Glenn Lewis, Something to See. You know that song, Something to See? One of my favorite songs. Let me find that song real quick. You never heard Something to See by Glenn Lewis? We gotta spend some time, YN. I need a music show. The fraud and come in swinging. Finally, an option. But the Fraud and Charlatan, this is a boring show, and it's made to be boring. So, don't get your hopes up. But what else was on that list? Since this music is not connected to the actual screen, I can change scenes. So. Oh, I'm just talking. Anybody hear me on this screen? So Oh, so you guys didn't hear me at all last time I was talking about the demo? Okay. So let's take a look at we did the music, did the cover. The cover is just showing stuff for that show, as an example, and it leaves some space at the top for whatever your phone's graphics are. And the music lyrics demo. You know, I kind of wish you could see the cursor. That would be nice as a feature. Let's play Chantel DNA again, real quick. Oh, debate format. Okay, okay. YM is demanding the debate format. Okay, let's go to the debate format. So what the debate format what the debate format is what's I've been using the whole show. So the show started out with a bunch of individual scenes with music, and they automatically switch to the next scene with music, and they switch to the next scene. So that's a feature that's a part of EVMux called auto switch. So any media source, whether it's a song or a video that you play, you go to the settings for it. There's an option to say auto switch, and then you click auto switch, and it asks you what scene you want to switch it to when this finishes. And so you can pick where you want it to switch to. You can also uh, edit any audio video source. So you can trim the length of it and show exactly the portion of it that you want to show or the portion that you want to hear. And at the end of that part, it'll automatically switch to the other scene. And so the sector used for that is debates, arguments, where people want to go back and forth. You put a timer video that's got like 2 minutes on it, put it on the screen, and set it to switch to the other person's screen, and it goes back and forth. And each person is in their own scene, so nobody has to be muted. Nobody has to get involved with that process. Nobody can be dragged into the fight, or no claims of favoritism, because it's just straight automatically switching between spaces. And let's see here. So I got a couple I did last year. Let me get this. Go back in the studio mode. I need to do this from OBS so I can show you what's happening behind the scenes. But I got a 3 minutes timer right here. All right, there's a 3 minute timer, and it's set to auto switch to the other scene, which also has a 3 minute. I'm going to reduce the time from 3 minutes down to something short. But that's the first view, and it's going to switch between that one and what? Where's the other scene? Let me see here real quick. Not that one. I got way too many scenes configured. Okay, there it is. It should still be set up. And go to 3 minutes. Yeah, auto switch is set up properly. No, it's almost there. Let me make sure this other side is set up properly. So that's the example, is that you can put and you would brand your timer. So if it's like, it's just LV's debate, LV could go in and make himself a custom timer, with the person's, whatever his brand is on it, or a picture of the person. And each person's scene could be set up for them, like with the person's them on the screen, plus their screen share could automatically be included in their scene. And so they can do all the stuff they're going to do during their time period, and automatically switch to the other person who has their screen share already set up and everything already ready to go. So nobody has to be involved. And I really want to try this out. I need some yelling people though. And what I'm getting used to is this listening to the actual same source that you guys are listening to as opposed to the live source. 'Cause if there's somebody up here, I got to listen to this side, but if nobody's here, I should be listening to the other side. That puts me in sync with the comments and everything. Yeah, this is short enough. 17 seconds. I've only played with this in the studio, so I want to see the magic happen myself. Mm. That really, that's a sentence. That's a 20-second delay on my far back. Yeah, I'm not lying. And so that transition is built into the scene. And you can make those transitions. So you can make it's just a WebM format video, very short. You can make like an LV debate transition over to the next person. You see the next timer starts and then that's it. And this is set point to the other one. It just goes around robin until you want to stop. And in the same scene, say for example, it was going to be a format where the opening statement is like 3 minutes, and then you go into maybe 2-minute rounds, then with a 1-minute summary. You can have all those different videos inside of the scene just hidden, and only unhide the one that you want to use at that time period. As long as their auto switch is set to the other scene, it works out. And the other use for it is if you have a panel discussion, and it's a real panel discussion where you go person to person, and everybody speaks, you can set auto switch up between everybody's individual themes and let them all speak one after the other for a certain amount of time. But I like panel discussions where everybody talks. I'm not talking about arguments, I'm talking about like a panel talk about something, Doesn't have to be serious, but at least just something where everybody's voice matters. And if anybody wants to end early, then whoever is behind the scenes can switch them manually. But to have that automatic switch, I think it's great. Especially the screen share part, that you can put I can make a whole YM scene with a YM screen share, her logo. She can even design her own screen with all of the stuff she want on it. And then, you really have they can have background music for their scene. Let them pick whatever music they want to put down there. You can set the volume ahead of time for the music that's going to play on that scene. It could be a really good show, actually. Be on somebody's Summer Jam screen. Yeah, the fraud in Charlatan over there. All the girls was over there. The fraud in Charlatan was over there. That's got to be a new low. Like, you have a show that's got 50 people and you're jealous of a show that has 6. It's not even a show. That's crazy. So that's the demo. I'm going to actually do a second landscape full live stream for LV just to have it there of how to set that up, showing behind the scenes EV Mux. It's really simple. It's just like I said, you just add a song or a video or even just a timer and set the auto switch to the scene you want to switch to, and then that's it. And once you got it all set up, you can do it from your phone. You don't even have to be in the studio. That's the value of EV Mux also, is that all of your pre-production work it pays dividends because later on you can run the show from your phone somewhere remote because you've done all the work already and got everything already set up in the studio. Whereas there's no real pre-production work you can do for StreamYard other than putting your stuff up there. Yep, I'm keeping DC on the screen for a while, at least an hour. Yeah, I use ChatGPT for stuff too, but I always make sure it's based on what I'm doing. Yeah, ask it to give me outlines or concepts or to check this or it's really useful for producing all of the boilerplate stuff. That's useful. I just wish they would stop making these commercials about AI with like the robot that looks like a person and all that. That's all kind of ridiculous because it gives the implication that ChatGPT can think and it can't. They should really explain what it is and how it's a tool. And how it will give you wrong stuff. And it won't tell you until you ask. Oh yeah, that was wrong. So why'd you give it to me? It was wrong. And did I where is that? Oh, I am in that scene. Let's get over. So that's that. Let's get back to the main. Yeah, I don't hear myself in that, so I guess I ain't. Let's see. Yeah. Where's the main screen? So here's my get back to the robot. And the robot no longer refers to YM. YM is not a robot. I just like this robot, like my mascot. And yeah, we should do something like that with ChatGPT. Show how to use it. I make everybody use ChatGPT. Everybody that comes in contact with me has to use ChatGPT. I force them. What? Why are you rolling your eyes? Sounds painful. But yeah, so that's the debate format. Let me get back to my main screen here. One thing with any browser-based tool like this is that the work of displaying everything to you is using your local resources. So when you go in studio mode, you got 2 screens. So you're putting up twice as much processing for that. It's identical in both scenes, but it's going to be more processing. So I only break out the studio mode when I need it. Other than that, I just put on my single StreamYard mode. Something I wish you guys could see is inside of the layers where you lay out the individual elements for a show, there's also a element called notes where you can lay out your whole show's notes. All the links you want to share, everything can be in that one space. And I put it right next to the title, and then you can actually, have something to refer to that you can see from your phone also. Let me get myself out of my ear here and get to this, some of these notes. For example, here is an episode. The episode I want to do is close that one off. This is the show I want to do. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Sector Mind. Oh, I need to show the Chantel DNA because this is an interesting concept. Anything written by Charlie Kaufman is interesting. All of his films are interesting. All of his scripts are better than his films. I'm always looking at the script thinking, how are they going to do this in film? But all of his concepts are really, really interesting. And so Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a really interesting film, and applied to the sector is also interesting because this is always going on in the sector at the same time. People get their memory erased quite often. What do you mean drop? Did she just say drop the link? Drop the link is for strangers. You have your own link, your own personal YM link that gets you through the back door, through the kitchen. But also the link is pinned, the first thing I put up. It might not work because you had that problem that one time. No, come on. Can you see that at the top of the chat? Okay. We can go to the Chantel DNA. So that's just a concept. So I've got this headline, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Like this is a show concept. And underneath it, I got all the notes for that show. Links to videos that I might want to show, all the other information. So all the pre-production work can be there and available to you right there where your layers are. So you don't have to pull it up from some other program or from on paper or anything. And another show idea I want to do is if I had a real show is The Sixth Sense. And this is for Al and Photon because neither one of them seems to realize that they are both trolls. They really don't know. What happened? Maybe I should just drop the link like she said. Let me get the link out again. I don't know if he knows. He sometimes seems to not know that he's a troll. And they call the people that are not trolls when they are the trolls. Al might actually be a ghost. We don't even know if he's really here. Back into. Okay, I'm going to put the link here again. But it's a different thing to know you're a troll than it is than having video evidence that shows you trolling like 80% of the time. And so I want to put together an entire reel that shows it. Shows the trolling. Show who really is a troll and who's not. So while I'm waiting on YM to click those links, I'm going to go back to show Chantel DNA. My little cartoon here. Got way too many scenes. There we go.
Or the other dude, it's just like it's the lying for me. It's telling me he sent me $500 and he going over there, got Stargate over there, and got all these other women that don't be hitting my link for the very reason just to get me. Like, yo, what's he doing? What is he about? What does he know? And then I'm listening to his content. I don't like people that trying to sound like they know something about YouTube, and it's just dumb. They sound dumb.
Okay, that makes sense now. I'm tracking what you're saying. I can hear you on that.
And I just want to try to expose these clowns, these narcissists, these people that's really jealous. They the ones hating. And then I'm trying to work with them. And then he had my bro, like he had some, like I could go into a lot of shit. Like he's a weirdo, dog. He's a weirdo. And I don't like to be around weirdos. Like I'll just be watching from the side like, yo, I've been like, I don't need you. For him to even say, I'll never hit your link because you on StreamYard and all this other shit. Like, come on, man. I don't mess with people like that. But then they want to go live and drop the link and expect everybody to just run to them. They don't even put in no work. They just want to play some songs and dance and just sit there and try to sound all calm. I think that's just some fake ass shit. and then he ain't even ADOS, and then he want to play all the ADOS music. He don't want to give it up to Nigeria, play some Nigerian music and whatnot, try to act like he's smart, try to act like he know about slavery and the struggle, and he ain't even struggled even on these YouTube streets. You know, sound like you know about the algorithm and who makes money and how much money they make, you know, for shorts and not shorts. You ain't making no money off of shorts. Like, what the fuck you know?
How much YouTube paid me for shorts with 10 million views. But for now, AdSense made me $10, so a lot less than what it would have been if it was a long video.
What do you know?
I feel you. Okay, that makes perfect sense now. I see where it's coming from now. Seems to be a
That
valid
same
point.
Lynn and Honor stuff. It's like that. And then and these corny women, they just keep running the corny people like that. It's just weird. Like, that's your man keeper. You like niggas like that?
You're not.
He ain't even got no money like because if he did, he would have put his money where his mouth was. Because if he want to talk about it and lie, just pay some money to get her back on. Why you gotta lie about it? I don't do that. I don't be trolling people like that. Yo, I just sent you 500. I went with it because I was just trying to study him and see where is he going with his lie. But he ain't going nowhere. He's going to get people to come to his chat, making him seem like he's popular. But he know he's boring. He ain't got shit to talk about. But he trying to sound like he's calm and collect, saying the same old thing. I'm calm. Photon isn't. I'm the calm one. I'm the smarter one. I'm collect. Look, but he ain't got nobody coming over there. And they only going over there just to save face, because they could tell he a lonely, desperate fuck nigga.
You're not.
And then once they see he ain't even keeping them at. He's not dancing with them. He's like, oh, this nigga can't even dance. He don't even know nothing about in technology or nothing. He just a one-trick pony, just playing music like the rest of them. I'm out.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Unless you really desperate and lonely or a robot, they'll just stay there because shit, he's on their nuts. So, and that's what I see over there. That's what's going on over there. He ain't hit my Cash App. That's another thing. I'm dealing with real people, real life situations. I'm trying to grow this channel, and this man want to come on my channel talking about I'll never hit your link like the rest of them. That's why the sector ain't going nowhere, because they ain't never hitting links. They just want to take all the women and seem like they the giver of all needs and all that shit. He ain't giving out nothing but hate.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
But when I expose and talk about them, even if I'm talking loud and yada yada, speaking all fast and cussing and whatnot, yo, take that aside and really listen and evaluate the truth. Really. They trying to come over here, these immigrants, and try to take over our shit and act like, oh yeah, yo don't deserve it because you ain't no hard workers. What you working on? What you been hard working on? Acting like they so smart and whatnot, but they mopping floors and fixing broken screens and whatnot. Because they obviously they haven't mastered this YouTube stuff, or they would be popping. They haven't mastered Avismo because he wanted to have all this music over talking him and got all these weirdo ass verticals this way and that way. It's a shit show over there. And I'm here to expose these cornballs, one cornball at a time. Shout out to Lynn and Honor.
You can tell him this thing is off, you hear me?
Why?
Because you don't love him, that's why. I know. I've been with you.
You don't love him, that's why. How you doing, YM?
Hello, I can hear you.
Oh, now I need to move over to the other side to hear you. Okay. Great. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay, okay. I hear you now. I was listening to the feed volume, not the studio volume. That's I hear you. Okay.
Am I in the backstage?
No, you're on the stage actually.
Oh, okay. It didn't give a little
No,
warning.
I took you off the screen, and I think because you are when you came on, you were automatically on the scene. I think I have you added somewhere
Oh,
else. You have like a
okay.
VIP status, so you just whenever you click the link, you end up on the screen by
Good to
default.
know.
Yeah, make sure
What
you
I wanted
dress.
to tell you, I was so happy that you mentioned Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind because
Oh yeah.
that's like one of my top movies.
Mm.
Well, not one of my top movies, but I really like that sort of movie. I don't
Hmm.
really know what to call them. I think of them as existential movies, and
Yeah, yeah. I
Eternal
like
Sunshine of the
anything to do with
Spotless Mind is
time.
one of them.
Anything to do with time machines or time is
Yeah.
interesting to me. And Charlie
So
Kaufman always deals with time.
I wrote down a quick little list to see if you also liked these movies or if you've heard of them. I Heart Huckabees.
I've never seen that.
It's a good one. It's really, really good.
I Heart
Um,
Huckabees.
I Heart Huckabees with Dustin Hoffman and Lily Tomlin. No, it's not old.
Oh, it
Being
came
John
out like,
Malkovich.
oh yeah, yeah, it's the same. That's Charlie Kaufman also.
Oh, is it? See, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Another one I wrote down, Synecdoche, New York. Synecdoche, New York.
that's also
Which
Charlie
is
Kaufman.
yeah, that one is a good
Yeah,
one.
it's gonna, yeah. That you got to actually watch that. I got the script for that also. I think I actually got the script for it up here on this server. I wanted to go through
Wow.
that. Yeah,
Truman
I watched
Show.
that movie in detail. The Truman Show. Yeah, I like Truman Show. Seen that a
How
million
about
times.
Fight Club? I count Fight Club as one of those kinds of movies.
Yeah, I like Fight. I've only seen Fight Club once though, but I like that concept.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, you passed that litmus test. Very good.
I passed the test.
Yep.
So let me ask you. So it's this is the equal yokedness sector. So now I get to ask you a question.
Go
So
for it.
why?
I
So
didn't
why do
really
you
ask
like?
you a question though. All I
No, no.
did was spit out a bunch of movies.
The quality of the question is your. Yes, that's your thing. But I got questions queued up right now.
All right.
So what do you like about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Hmm.
Is it
I
this?
like
Is it
it
this?
because when I watch that movie, it feels very wistful
Mm-hmm.
because of the faded memories. It feels like he's holding on to something that he can't. And that's how life
Mm-hmm.
is with some things. It
And they
gives
did a
me
lot of that with the
like
sound design too.
it gives me a feeling of melancholy, which
Mm.
I'm attracted to that kind of thing. Like there's certain music that I like that has a lot of melancholy to it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why I like that particular movie.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I think he did some other stuff with Michelle Gondry. I think it was there was one with Jack Black called Please Rewind.
I
And
think I've seen that one. I think I've seen
yeah,
it.
that whole film
What is
style
that
is
about?
interesting.
What is that about again?
It's I don't even remember the plot. Something to do with a video store, and I remember the execution of it, but not the actual film. I
Is
think I got
that
the
the
DVD
one
around here
where
somewhere.
they do this process called sweeting the film and then they remake the films?
They're using like paper. It's got like paper graphics in it, different places, and I'll
Let
grab
me
some
look.
clips for it and put it together into a show. The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind concept applied to the sector, though, it becomes like the initial thing in the plot was that she erased him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he found out that she erased him, and he went to erase her, and they found each other again. The concept was that they would always, I think they repeated it twice that even though you try to control the that process, you're still going to find yourself back in that same situation.
Right.
And it also reminds me of that song. Remember that song from School Days?
Which song?
The song from School Days that Stevie Wonder wrote, and the guy that sounds like Stevie Wonder sang.
Yeah, I remember that song.
Yeah, You Can Only Be You. And they did that in that film like a couple different ways. They did it with the girl and the doctor. Also, he erased her, and she came back to him and was attracted to him. And but I just like the Eternal Sunshine. I like the concept of how they physically did it, like how they actually made the scenes crash into each other. How they
Mm.
use animation. It's kind of like an animated, non-animated film in a way. And the music sequences that they had for some parts of the scenes. I was just watching that like yesterday, day before yesterday,
Hmm.
and I was thinking of this as a sector show concept. We got some
Yeah, so
short
how would
memories.
Oh, okay, I see.
Mm.
I was gonna ask, well, how does that apply to the sector? But
How does it
you
apply? I
just
mean, it doesn't
you
apply to the
you
sector.
just
It's just a
answered
matter
it.
yeah, how can you can take one concept and and use it as a filter and apply it to something else. Just making stuff. And that concept could work if applied to like what's going on in the sector right now. I don't mean like a
Hmm.
script. I mean like just as an analytical framework for describing what's happening now, and especially with the what happened with the. If you look at the show with the 3 owls on it, that was like an Alzheimer's show. It's like all 3 of them
Mhm.
don't really know. They don't really remember what happened. All 3 of them are talking like we don't remember what happened, but they're all speaking like from a frayed or a erased memory. And all 3 of them were named Al.
I think people remember. They just would
I
rather
don't.
make up something else, and they think that the audience doesn't remember, but I think they know.
Yeah, but we're talking about on stage, so it's not like what somebody really knows. We can never know. We're just talking about what they're presenting on stage is as if they don't know. So for intents and purposes of like a show concept, it would be okay. What they're saying is true. You got to
Mhm.
make a baseline of truth, or we can't really make any kind of drama or comedy, anything. So if we take what they're saying, at their word, then that means that they must not remember all the stuff that happened, and that fits into the Eternal Sunshine concept. So as a show idea, I think it would fit. But only if the people appreciate or have seen the film and understand it, would it make any sense?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like try Connecting New York. Try to explain that film to somebody. It's impossible. It's like trying to explain the
Mhm.
sector. You have to read the script to understand that movie.
Why were you thinking of the movie Be Kind, Rewind? What made you think of that one?
It's in the same vein as being John Malkovich, and there was a partnership between Charlie Kaufman and Michael Gondry, and some of the style that you saw in Eternal Sunshine, some of that style is actually in Be Kind, Rewind.
Oh, you mean the cinematography with the animation?
Yeah, they developed that stuff
Okay.
together. Together, they were working on it together.
Oh,
So it may
okay.
be some of the same people working on both films.
I
And
might have to rewatch that. I didn't really think
what's
about
the other
that.
one? The other one is Adaptation. You see that movie?
No, I never heard of that.
Really?
Really.
Wow, that's the one that started it all for him. Adaptation is I think you would really like Adaptation. Really interesting. Actually, I think I have the script for that around here. I used to have it on my desk here. Yeah, it's right there. I got the shooting script right here. I got a
Hmm.
whole directory full of scripts. And this one is and this screenplay is by Charlie Kaufman and his brother, Donald Kaufman. He has a twin brother.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you should see how the stories wrap around each other inside of the script. And it's also like how the story in Erasure, how it wraps around, you know, from American Fiction. You saw that movie, American Fiction?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I don't
But
I don't really remember what it was about, but yeah, I've seen that one.
yeah, it's easy to forget. Did you read Erasure by Percival Everett? Did I
No.
ask you that already? No.
You did
The,
ask me about that person. Is that a writer? Is it a screenwriter or an author?
he's an author, and
Author. You mentioned that name before, but I didn't know what you were talking about.
yeah, I think that was
But I
like maybe a
remember
couple
that
years ago.
name.
That was like a couple years ago, and that was before they
Mhm.
took one of his films and adapted it and made American Fiction, and I think they won an Oscar for that. But the American Fiction
Oh,
doesn't do the book justice. Really, it doesn't. And but if you
you're
like
saying it's
these,
based on the book Erasure.
it's based on the book Erasure, but it's almost the concept of what happens in Erasure would need a director like Charlie Kaufman or Michel Gondry to make it, and they tried to do it without that and to just make a story about it, and they lost a lot of the what would make that a good movie. But the book is if you like these things we're talking about, you also like Eraser, and
Okay.
it's like a novel within a novel. So in the novel Eraser, he writes another novel,
Oh
and
yeah, I like books like that.
they interconnect, and it has to do with you remember when Precious came out?
Yeah.
And Precious was based on the book Push, right? Did you
Yeah.
happen to read Push?
Yes, I read Push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this was about what was happening with black writers at that time. And there's a kind of a battle between the type of writer that Percival Everett is and the type of writer that the writer who wrote Push is. And it's similar to the fight of what happened with Color. You know, Color Purple was actually inspired by. I mean, Push is actually inspired by like Color Purple. And so these whole types of despair writers versus people like Percival Everett. And so there was all that is contained built into the story. And when they redid it, when they made a movie out of it, they really lost. They had maybe one scene or something that showed something similar to it, but then they just lost it, and it became about somebody being gay and coming out or some shit. I was a little disappointed with it. But he would never let anybody make his stuff into film before, so we were surprised that he allowed someone to adapt his writing. And I guess it must be a financial thing, because he was one of those types. I mean, he won't even do readings. Like, you couldn't get him to come and do a reading of his own material. He doesn't like it. He wants you to read it yourself. But his books are free. Like the funny, like one of my favorites is Not Sidney Poitier. The book he wrote where the main character's name is not Sidney Poitier, but he looks exactly like Sidney Poitier. That's a funny one. And gotta get you a book list. Do I have the PDF? I might have the PDF of that book. I think I have the PDF of Erasure somewhere. I can send to you.
Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah, and when
But I just added American Fiction to my little Post-it note where I wrote the other movie titles and adaptations.
it's not really the movie really is not worth seeing. You know, not really.
I still want
The only
to
reason I saw it is because I knew where it came from. Because I knew where it came from, I went to see what they did with what I'm always interested in adaptations, like to see what they do with what somebody made, see the new form of it, and that new form was they didn't really do anything with it. Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. Good recommendation.
Oh, thank you. That was boring. Good. I like that. What else we want to talk about? What about The Missing Piece Meets the Big O?
What about it?
You know that story?
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, I do.
You don't remember you gave me that book?
No. I used to
You
read that
sent
story
me a
to my.
PDF.
Yeah. But I mean, that story goes back, 20 years for me. It's not. I didn't just get that now.
I know that. Yes, I'm very familiar with Shel Silverstein.
Oh, because you used to read Playboy magazine?
No
Is
comment.
that what you? Listen to that. We got to get that in the headlines. But see, nobody knows what we're talking about because this is such a boring topic. They don't really know who Shel Silverstein is and why his artwork looks familiar to some people. Like, I haven't seen that before. in the Nola Ray issue.
But yes, I know that book, of course.
Mm.
What about it?
You like that story?
Um, no, I don't dislike it.
Well,
It's
okay.
all right.
That's a good answer. It's all right.
It's
I
all
think it's
right.
interesting. I think it's kind of like an infinite story. You can do so many things with it as a conceptual like base. It be applied in a lot of different ways. And I got the Missing Piece book on my shelf right here. And I didn't know there was a missing piece before the Missing Piece meets the Big O.
Oh.
There's a whole like a thicker one, much longer book that's just called The Missing Piece.
Hmm.
And these are not kids' books, and I think that's the thing is that a lot of the most who was that? It was one of my favorite authors that said that a lot of the most the most serious topics are turned into children's books.
Mm-hmm. Have you read The Giving Tree?
Yeah, I got The Giving Tree too. Yeah, that's a great book too.
Yeah, that is a story I do like. It's kind of sad, but I like that book.
It changes as you get older. Like even the Missing Piece makes a Big O is different for a little kid than it is for like someone that's lived a life.
Mm-hmm.
And The Giving Tree really changes as you age. That book is famous worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder what the relationship was with Playboy. Like was he in Playboy first, or while he was at Playboy he made these other books?
I don't know for sure, but I think he was.
Yeah, and he had time to write, so he made these books while he was writing for Playboy. But Playboy wasn't a bad magazine actually. It wasn't like those other magazines. It actually had good articles and stuff in it. But it's just a different time period.
Mm-hmm.
I like that silence.
Say that again.
So I like that silence.
Oh.
Do you like all time machine based films? Like anything to do with time?
I would say most things to do with time.
Yeah.
I like shows as well that deal with that, like The Twilight Zone or
Oh yeah.
Black Mirror.
Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Although I know Black Mirror is more technology based, but it still gives me that feeling of time.
You said Black
or
Mirror?
Worlds. Yeah, Black Mirror.
Yeah, I actually have that on my Netflix list, but I haven't watched it yet.
You've never watched it?
Mm-mm.
What?
I don't watch stuff when it comes out. I kind of wait.
You got to.
When I feel like it. Why?
You should try it. It's good.
Yeah, I may. How many seasons has it been going?
I think 4, maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And there's one that the same.
You should start getting bad right about now. Then Netflix shows when you get to season 4.
There's one that the creators of. There's one movie that the creators of Black Mirror wrote. It's called Bandersnatch, and it's a choose your own adventure kind of movie where you can select where the main character is going to go or what the main character is going to do, and there's different endings. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like.
I remember that years ago for books. I remember that when that happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of disappeared again. And we're like, people just want to get to the highlights. They want it to end the way that they want it to end, and they want everything to be like, all the questions to be answered. And I think that's why people hated Schenectady, New York. People didn't understand that film. I imagine like a sector watching that film, watch people get upset at the end. What does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? It doesn't end properly.
I need to watch
But I
that
want.
film again.
How many times did you see it?
I've seen it twice.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I
you need to
saw it
watch it
once
10 more
all the way
times.
through, but then the second time I just watched parts, so I didn't really watch it fully a second time.
Did you get the time passing thing in the first scene?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get it the first time you watched it?
I don't remember, so probably not.
Mm. Time is really,
I
really
thought about
funny in
that
that.
film for a long time after watching it.
hmm They never gave him money again after that film.
Mm.
The studio, like, nope. He had built up to where he had enough successes to where he could finally do the project he wanted, and that's kind of what the movie was about, also. And that's
Mhm.
that's the same thing that happens in adaptation. What he's talking about in the script and in the film, it all loops together. And
Mm.
in a way that where the script and the film are really, really what he's thinking. It loops
Mhm.
together in a unique way. And so I guess they thought that he would have a big success when he finally directed his first movie, because he's been the writer for these films. He wasn't the director, but he directed Connecting New York himself. And that one,
Mm.
it wasn't a box office success, but it's famous, among writers and people that like that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I was watching Lady Sings the Blues last night with that this black movie channel, and that was interesting. They actually got clearance to show the film, so they actually go and contact the rights organization to get rights to show black films.
Mm.
I think they're doing something with Cicely Tyson and Cicely Tyson and who next month, and Richard Pryor next month. They're gonna do the month dedicated to them, and but they didn't have Bustin' Loose on their list. Like, how you doing Cicely Tyson
Oh my
and Richard
god.
Pryor, and you don't have the movie that they're both in together as part of your? Yeah,
Now that's a movie I've seen a million times, but as a
yeah,
kid, not so
yeah.
much as an adult.
Yeah, Richard Pryor, he had his own production company, so he was able to make kind of films that he wanted to make, and
Mhm.
all of his characters have like a blending of a tragic and comic mixed together.
Mm.
So he's got that melancholy thing too. That's the difference between like Richard Pryor and a comedian like Eddie Murphy. When they were compared, was that there is no tragic in Eddie Murphy. It's just comic.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But Richard Pryor,
That's
all of
very
his
true.
characters had that blend, and that's what made him deeper than just saying funny stuff. And it wasn't a fair comparison
Mhm.
because Eddie Murphy was 21 years old and something, a little kid, compared to Richard Pryor at that time.
Now I
But he
wanna
did
see
some
the
good
movie
films.
Bustin' Loose. I miss that
Yeah, and the
that
soundtrack.
feeling of seeing that movie. Yeah.
I got that album, actually. I got that physical album somewhere, I think. The Bustin' Loose soundtrack.
I don't even
Da, da,
remember the
da,
song.
da, 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 da. You remember that song?
I remember that little theme song, but none of the other
Yeah.
songs.
No, that's the only one that I remember too. That's the main thing. And I think that film was done by was it Michael Schultz? Schultz is the director that he directed a lot of those famous older black films, but nobody talks about him. I think they don't think he's black because his name is Schultz. But
Hmm.
he did Grease Lightning, he did Car Wash, he did all these famous black films.
Really?
Nobody references him when they talk about black directors.
Hmm.
He made some good movies. He did Which Way Is Up, and all those films are so well made that the direction doesn't even stand out. Like there's no gimmicks in the film. There's nothing. They just fit together really, really well. So you don't even think about the director in those movies during that time period.
Mm.
Whereas later films, like now, like when Spike Lee came with style, and so it's
Yeah.
like you can see the signature of his style in the films it made.
That's a
Cinematography
good
was
point.
like,
That is true.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
true.
And it was his cinematographer was Eric Dickerson was Ernest Dickerson that did a lot of that stuff. And he's also the guy that went on to do Law and Order when it first came out.
Hmm.
I think his first movie he directed was Juice with Tupac. But we didn't find out until after Ernest Dickerson left, because they were together from film school. So all their films were together. When Ernest Dickerson left, we found out that, Spike is the cinematographer, really. Because that film he did after Ernest Dickerson was gone, was way better. It was just visually beautiful. That was Crooklyn. If you saw Crooklyn on the big screen, that was a stunning film.
I did see Crooklyn, but
On the
I
big
didn't really
screen?
care for it that much. Yeah, I saw it on the big screen.
Yeah, visually it was really that was a stunning film, and it had all of his elements to it, and I really liked that execution. Same thing with Mo Better Blues, really really stylistic. Crooklyn was that's actually the only one where he didn't write it, so the female characters were more human, more fleshed out. So that was his little sister. That's her script. He wrote that.
Oh.
And that story is his family's story, except he took out the fact that his father was on drugs.
Mm.
He took that part out of it, and he refused to let people say that it's autobiographical. But that was their story growing up.
Mhm.
And he's that oldest boy character with the glasses, with the, you know.
Maybe I should rewatch that one too. When I first saw it, I was just like, eh.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really well done. And in the beginning of it actually like catalogs all of the games and stuff that kids play in black neighborhoods. And that was in New York, but all these families come from the South. And so you'll find those same games were played in Chicago, they're played in California, everywhere, right? City
Mhm.
kids play these same kind of games. And that was the first movie that I saw that actually put it on film, those types of interactions. He really, really did something with that, kind of historically with that film. And that's all the people are doing as when they're making movies is they're putting down like the things that they thought were relevant in their life, that for
Mhm.
future people to see, you know. And it's he did a service when he put that stuff down, I think. 'Cause a lot of black films are just, just about hood shit or like I think people really think that all black people live in the ghetto or something.
Mm.
That's the whole experience of people of color, black people, I should say, is some street hood stuff. There's a bunch of other experiences that people have that kind of, if you don't put it in film, especially for this generation coming up, it doesn't exist. They're not reading. The attention span is shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Nuance is completely lost in everything. That's why we have to type longer and longer paragraphs in order to communicate online. You got to give them the whole context when you say something.
Oh Lord, not with the paragraph.
Hey, it was the time we didn't have to type paragraphs because stuff was understood.
You know what
But
though?
now,
In the sector, I get the most shit for typing, and I think it's because I'm female. Because there are other people like you or defrauding charlatans who write a lot, but people don't say shit. But it's
I mean,
OYM, you type so many long paragraphs. It's funny.
I got shit for typing also long paragraphs, but you know,
Nah.
well, maybe you don't know because you're not with me all the time, but you know,
Nah.
but
It's
I
just
tend to not
like
hang out in those places though. If I get it if I get that from someone, then I'm not going to be there. Like if you are anti-intellectual, you're anti-words, or you're
Mhm.
anti-truth, I'm not going to hang out in your spot. So I might hear it once and I'm out. And when I leave, I take my chat with me. I take all my comments back.
Mhm.
I think some of it is like you can see that some people they struggle with literacy, and some people struggle with the vision. Some people just can't see. You know, that's why you might have to type in all caps so they can see it. It's a bunch of things depending on if they're on their phone or if they're on the computer. And some people just don't like to be confronted with a bunch of words. They get a bunch of anxiety as soon as the words show up, but they don't know what it's going to say at the end. You know, it's got that pressure, the time pressure of being on a live stream and then not knowing what this is going to say and reading it out loud, and you know, it makes them nervous.
That
Other
could
people's
be.
ideas.
I wonder
Yeah.
what people would actually say. Like why they don't like looking at all the typing. I remember Propane saying something like that, like, I don't feel like reading all that shit.
Yeah. And he's pretty good at reading like comments too. He'll go through it, and he's pretty good at it. But some people they just don't want to hear what anybody else is going to say. You know, it's like you messing up the party, and it's sometimes you just got to recognize that, like, okay, they don't really want to hear anything external, even if it's in support. They kind of just want to be able to say what they want to say with no pushback, and everybody that would push back just kind of stays in the clouds or just disappears. Echo chambers are all the rage in the sector.
But you do be
Just
typing a lot though. It's kind of
who?
you.
I don't talk a lot. When I go to a chat and if the chat is dead, if I get to the place and it's got 45 minutes of chat on one screen, I'm like, look, somebody got to talk about something.
No, that's not what I mean. I don't mean when the chat is dead. I mean when you get into your little snit about something or you want to challenge something, you start typing a lot and you start typing fast.
What'd you say when I get into my little what?
Snit.
I get into a snit.
Yeah.
So you mean when there's something that I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about a subject or if I'm talking about the truth about something, then I type a lot of words. Yeah, I type the amount of words I need to type in order to explain what I want to explain.
It'd
And
be
if
a
I was on the
lot though.
panel,
Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, damn, JJ, can you calm down? Do you
well,
really
see,
have to type that much?
yeah, but how can you be on the one side? You're saying you don't like people saying stuff about you typing a lot of words, but then at the same time you're saying that I'm writing too many words, like the content of what the words say doesn't count. Doesn't it matter what they say, the words? Didn't it
Well,
matter?
I can give you some leeway, but I'm just
No, just a
saying.
little bit. You're using too many words, right? Say it in less words. Okay. If I say it in less words, then I got to use bigger words. If I use bigger words, people that get scared when you use bigger words, and they start calling you white. So you can't really have it both ways. It's either you want the conversational tone to match where we are, or you want me to use big words, big vague words that people don't really understand.
Honestly, I really don't care. I just like laughing at you, but I think that people should be able to just express themselves how they want to on YouTube.
I think for the most
Ultimately.
part they can. For the most part, we're in like some conflict
Without
spaces.
getting blowback, I mean. Without somebody saying, well, why do you do this? Why do you type that? Why do you speak this way? Why don't you get on the mic? Or why don't
I
you hit the
understand
link?
it. I think of it like it's like somebody's living room, though. It's like if you're going over to a place where this is their space, why are you saying stuff against them? You know, even if it's against their fundamental idea. I understand the first time is like I want to know, like maybe this is a conversational person and they're willing to even deal with the fact that somebody thinks something different than them. But once they show you that they're not, then just stop talking. You know, because everybody's not really prepared to have an exploratory conversation publicly because they only want to be seen a certain way. They don't know how to be dumbfounded or how to be silent or how to not know something. They want to always appear to have the answers and be cool and laid back and all this stuff. So to have like a mysterious, open-ended conversation scares the hell out of them.
It
They
is
can't think
scary.
publicly. Is it? I don't feel like it's scary.
I think it depends on who you might be talking to or who you might be communicating with.
Mm.
It might be
Oh, I know what
scary
you mean.
for someone
True. If you were
kind
talking
of
to
some,
somebody that was
uncharted,
erratic,
yes, uncharted
yeah,
territory. Yeah.
yeah. I guess it comes down to who like for example, you and I had no fear whatsoever of talking to you on a panel, and the fact that there may be somebody else listening or seeing, it doesn't even enter my mind when I'm talking to you,
Mhm.
because I know what kind of personality you are from all the other time that we've been communicating, and fighting and whatnot. Fights
So
that nobody knows about.
you would have trepidation speaking with someone that you didn't know very well on a platform like this?
No, not at all. No,
And
it
when
would
I
be
say no, I don't mean that like we know each other, but you know what I'm saying.
no. I would have it if it's someone that I know is combative and erratic, maybe not serious. Somebody
Mhm.
who doesn't take their own words seriously, or somebody who's reckless with their words. That kind of person I wouldn't bother with.
Right.
Yeah, those are panels that I wouldn't go to. I'm like, I have no reason to talk to you. I can just chat and
Mhm.
say this and that, but to engage in the conversation this is serious business. Where you spend your time and who you give your time to is serious. It's important.
Yeah.
So nobody
It's just funny how
wants to get
you
up
said
there.
it. It's serious business. Goddamn.
It's serious business. It is. Nobody
I
wants to
just
waste their
wanted to say,
time. Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead, JJ.
Nah, go ahead. I want to know what you said. What you say?
No, I was just going to shout out to the chat. Hello to Living Life to the
Oh,
Fullest.
I
And
forgot about the
hello,
chat.
Smoke.
Hold on.
And
Hold on.
Divine, if you're there, hi. And hello to
We have a chat.
Ms. Gemini.
We have people. Look at that. The Owl Show. Umar Space. This guy. Hey, Living Life. Oh, Miss Gemini. I haven't seen her in a while. Miss Gemini is from what sector?
I'm not sure. I just remember her from Spotham's chat.
Oh, maybe I have to put her on the map. Is it time for a new map?
Yeah. Sam needs to be added to the map.
Yeah, Sam definitely. And got to put Al on the map because Al wasn't on the map, even though he doesn't want to be. Gonna put him on against his will. Surround him with his enemies.
Oh, Divine
Yeah, but
7 says yes, she's here.
I seen Divine 7 earlier.
Or maybe she's saying yes to add Sam to the map. Maybe that's what
See, if she typed more words, then we would know what she means.
Right. She needs to
Context
type
is
more.
everything. This is a
You're
paragraph
not
zone.
typing enough,
Divine 7.
Divine.
You're not typing enough. 2 words is not enough. Al Show, I reject your demand to not be put on the map. You're on the map anyway. It's your past self. It's not you. Don't worry about it. Look at the 2. Lul. She got 5 words that time, but that's still not enough words. Divine 7, I'm calling you out specifically. You need to type more words in the chat. You're gonna be opposite of all the other places that say you typing too much. We want more words. Whole sentences, commas, semicolons.
I think I said hello to Smoke God, but he probably
I
got
didn't see
bored and
Smoke at
left.
all. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Smoke
how
was
you
in
doing,
the
Smoke?
chat.
Oh, Smoke, he got me on the yellow dot on his map though, so I don't know if he want to talk to little old me. I got the
Yeah,
yellow
he's okay.
dot.
He's okay with some of the yellow dots, I
You
think.
got the yellow dot.
Yeah, I got the yellow dot. You know what I think is funny though? I'm glad that he did that because it upset people. I'm not
Really?
saying I'm glad that people got upset, but I'm
I
glad
thought
that
it was
he put
funny.
something out there and was kind of bold with it and that people had a feeling about it. Like, what? You put me on yellow? You need to change me to this color. You need to
I
change
need to
me to
send him the
that color.
link.
I'm like,
I need to send him the
wow.
link to the map because you can just duplicate those maps at that place and change it. You can actually actually have
Well,
access to the full map, make your own version of it.
there's a couple of people who feel a way about being a certain color on that map. I think it's funny.
That's funny. Colors.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with those people if they want to be some other color on the map. I was thinking of just being silly and going up on his panel and saying, "Can you put me on a purple dot? Can you put a purple dot on my name?" And that's only because I like the color purple, but
I
it
don't think
has
I
no
deserve
meaning.
to be yellow. You like the color purple, you said?
Yeah, I do.
Mm. You like Alice Walker or you like the color purple?
Both.
No. Mm. You know, she doesn't like the color purple.
No, I didn't. I like the
She was
actual color purple. I like
pissed.
the hue purple.
Not the movie?
Yeah, I like the movie.
Oh, okay. Hue purple. Yeah. That could be a whole
I
show
think
too.
you have a thing about the color purple. There's things that you don't like about it. Or maybe it was the play. I don't remember.
It's an adaptation, you know, so the book and the film are dramatically different.
Yes.
And the person who adapted the film was an Italian man. And
Yes.
first it was studio was paying Alice Walker to adapt it to a screenplay, but they didn't like what she was producing, so they fired her and hired this Italian guy to screenwrite it. And that's how the men all became monsters in the film. Because the men weren't monsters in the book. They ended that book on as, you know, friends still. They're on the porch together, you know. And also the scene that's the most famous in Color Purple with him ripping them apart and all that. Nothing but death can keep me from that didn't happen in the book. So all of this stuff was kind of added to it, and she really, really was pissed about the film when she saw it. And I still haven't finished the latest one. It's cool. I got to a point where I just paused it and I never went back to it. I think it's still a lot of work to get that part of it. I still got like what happens when I watch. It's hard to watch it because I don't know the book very well.
I'm not sure if that's you or me, but it sounds like there's some static or something.
I haven't moved or anything. I think it must be you. I guess. Yeah. I'm listening to the broadcast.
Can people hear JJ?
Let me see. Oh, no, look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's me.
Miss Gemini is still out there.
Yeah, that's unclear.
She says it's your sound.
Yeah, that's terrible.
JJ's the robot. This is a momentous time in history right now.
What's that?
She said he turned robot, it says.
Yeah, this let me restart my my audio mixer here. Software mixer. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. It's a little less fuzzy, but it's still staticky.
Yeah, this software mixer that came with Stream Deck, it has these kind of issues. It's a $300 device. Had to reboot it a couple times.
Chat, is the sound better for JJ?
I'm restarting here. My mic. Yeah, it's great. I gotta go build this process. I'm on these.
Are we backstage? Are we backstage?
Yeah, we probably are. Let me see.
Miss Gemini says he's now okay.
Yeah, now the mixer is off. Now I'm okay. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave it like that. Leave my mixer off. Cool. I just don't have controls like to do what I want. Like I want to hear the the output of the other part at the same time. Anyway, that's all behind the scenes stuff.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I wonder how boring this show is right now.
I don't think it's. I think I speak too fast. I want to slow down and like get to a real slow pace. Make it really, really, really calm. I need to have "Maiden Voyage" by Herbie Hancock running in my headphones in the background that only I could hear. Then I can
Maiden
really slow
Voyage.
down to that pace. You know Maiden Voyage? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the pace. If I play that music, then I'll calm down to that pace, that tempo. Or even the opening song, Naima, Soul Train's daughter. But
Mm-hmm.
without my mixer, I can't do that. I can only listen to what I can listen to. So what could we do to make a show more boring?
Well, I could drop down and Al Show could step up to the panel. You could talk to him.
I didn't hear what you said.
I
You said something?
said I could leave your panel and Al Show could step up and you could talk to him. That might
I
make the
still
show
didn't hear
more
you.
boring.
I definitely didn't hear you at all. The Al Show.
You
Al
hear
Show
me?
is a troll. This is a trolls don't hit panels over here. A troll. Because we'll have a good conversation, me and Al. I think Al is interesting, actually. We'll have a good conversation. And then Al will go to the next panel and talk shit about the conversation you just had. So it's like,
Well,
it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of
I don't think he would do that. I don't think
he
he would
did it
do that.
already. No, he did it already. he did it already.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
okay. I
serious
missed that.
business, these conversations. It's serious business. I'm not wasting my life. I can't
Living
waste my
Life
life.
says no thanks. She doesn't like my idea.
Exactly. But Al fits a boring show concept.
See?
Talking about movies and scripts and all this
I
and
was
that and
on the right track
adaptations.
there. Exactly.
Did you ever read the series of Unfortunate Events?
No. I couldn't get into it.
Oh, you had the books though?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't have them, but I had access to them. And
Oh.
I didn't really get into it. I couldn't get
It's just
into
a
Harry Potter either.
it's just the intro. I only read like the opening. The openings are what's funny to me. And I like that the writer was able to maintain like that theme, that sarcastic theme all the way through. So it was like it was a performance in and of itself, just the writer writing from that perspective, from that character perspective. I said that because I'm looking at the book on my bookshelf
Oh.
next to the missing piece.
The missing piece.
Since I have that PDF, I should make that a show. Make that a whole show.
The missing piece as a show?
Yeah, I got the PDF. So animate it, just turn the pages and use the YM voices to read the words. Clone your voice.
No, don't clone my voice.
I already did.
Well, destroy the clone.
This is me talking to myself right now. Did you hear what CLM was doing? He animated YM's voice and was talking to himself.
That'll be the next narrative.
Hey, as long as everybody eats and they got something to talk about, it's all good. And if I can convince one person to go vertical and to move over to EV Mux, we're good. But you can't do any of this in StreamYard. None of it.
I think T Pre is interested.
And her graphical stuff is already beautiful. Her show is polished already. So
Mhm.
vertical for her, she could actually get with her true crime content, she could actually get an audience. A non-sector audience. Yeah. And that's the great thing about this is that, like, you see I have this scene, this with the robot. There's also
Mhm.
for each scene, there's 2 slots. One slot is vertical, the other slot is landscape. So with the same elements, you can make the widescreen scene version of it, and you can go live with either the vertical or the landscape. So you can make a different version for each, one. And you could go live on both. I went live on Instagram yesterday.
Oh,
So
really?
to YouTube and Instagram at the same time yesterday.
Oh, how did that go?
That's it went okay, but the difference in the screen is a difference in the screen for Instagram than it is for. So I would have to design this one and take more of the bottom of it up and leave it black at the bottom, and
Yeah,
make my
isn't the
frame a little
ratio
blockier.
4:3, I think?
No, it's actually like a 1-to-1. It's like a block.
Oh, it's 1-to-1. Okay.
Yeah, it's a square. So I would just have to take the bottom of this off till I got to that 1-to-1 ratio, and then you'd be able to, or even just know that this part of it doesn't show well on Instagram. So put everything up more towards the middle. But if you could go live on both at the same time, you just have to change your behavior with the music. Instagram does not like music, and that's possible. With OBS, it's really easy to do it, and even to take out the music. But EVMux right now is just right now I'm live on Rumble and YouTube, and
Rumble.
Rumble is I don't know why people don't use Rumble. That's the best platform, actually.
I have a channel on Rumble.
It's monetized from the first day. I've had a channel on Rumble since, who was it that took us over there? A long time ago. I think it was
Glow?
TC took us over there.
Oh.
TC took us to Rumble when it first
Yeah,
came out.
he did mention it. That is true.
Yeah. And I opened my account on Rumble right then when TC took us all over. And then that was before NASDAQ bought them. But NASDAQ bought Rumble, and now Rumble's got a solid financial backing, and you monetize from the first day. So I don't get why people that are the money people, the eyes, the T-Prees, I don't know why they don't go to Rumble. You don't have to leave YouTube. You can do both, but one is monetized from day one. And I have 0 copyright flags on Rumble. So I'll come to this same broadcast, I'll get 8 or 9 different copyright claims, but I get 0 on Rumble. So I'm like, you should get in while you can and get your content going and build your audience over there, because it's nothing for 30 or 40 or 50 people to go to that side, and then for you to you can get super chats from the first day.
Where else have you gone live, JJ? Or where else have you streamed live?
Twitch, Twitter.
On Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter.
Hmm.
Yeah, Twitter's live streaming is they have live streams, but they have almost no involvement from the public. So you'll see a live stream. It's got 6,000 people watching, but nobody chats. And it's Twitter as a place is a really, really anti-word. It's a monetized text platform, but they really don't like people talking. And I got a blue check mark on my account, so I can type paragraphs. I actually intentionally type long paragraphs on Twitter. I explain to the nth degree on Twitter, and I created my own little niche with that. People that want to have long-winded conversations or clear conversations, and but you can go live there also. Gotta have gotta pay for it though.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, you gotta have the check mark account. It's like $7 or something. Cheap, but again, nobody really wants
Twitter
to talk.
very often. I used to use Twitter a lot, but I haven't used it in years.
I didn't start using it a lot until after they got the blue check mark feature where you could say more in one tweet. Then I saw the usefulness of it. Before that, I would just use it to keep up with the news, but and fight videos for some reason. I'm into fight videos. I'm on a lot of fight videos for some reason, but I didn't write a lot on there until I got into Tennessee politics, and the blue check mark lets me put more stuff I want to say.
I used it to keep up with events too, but more of the local stuff that was happening in my city.
I think it's great for
because I
that.
would find information there before the news.
Yeah. Yeah. And before the pandemic kind of changed it all to where we now can see that the news people are just YouTubers, you know, overdressed YouTubers. And I really think about the world before the pandemic. You know, it's like how we look at online is completely different. I think we're still kind of waiting for it to settle in and come to some kind of balance.
Waiting
Where
for
do you
what
get
to
news
settle?
from? The media world, like
Okay.
the news networks are now are not trusted. So
Mhm.
you end up looking online, but the people online are unbalanced too. So you got like a series of echo chambers all competing for for each person. And you can use something like ground news to see both sides of a story, but it's putting the whole world into two sides. Like those are the only two points of view. So it's really a mess when it comes to information. It's too much information, and there's no central way to really organize it that's fair. You know. So the
Mhm.
answer is just to turn it off. Turn it off and watch a movie. Watch a Charlie Kaufman movie. Let me see. We got any more words for oh, Miss Gemini says she started watching anti-Umar videos and ended up following some pretty cool folks. Yeah. Anti-Umar. I actually wanted to put that video up here. Umar was high as a kite. Like I'm like, man, he clearly. And Lennon created a whole new line of, crazy ideas that with no basis. And I remember he used to say that Umar's gonna take the money and move to Africa.
Mm.
Anybody moving to Africa?
I
'Cause he's
haven't
a
watched
bad
Umar in
African.
so long. I might have to check out that video you're talking about.
Go look at his latest video. He's showing the inside of the school in the video. I think before that, so you can see everything is beautiful, lights is on, and all that. And he's talking about
Really?
the
It's
YouTubers.
done? The
Yeah,
school
I
is
mean,
finished?
he's painting. They're painting. All the rooms look painted, and they're still doing some other stuff. But I mean, the
Mm.
building, the school part. I mean, he's not nowhere near making a school. Like the entity that would be the school doesn't exist. Got to get teachers and yeah, all kind of stuff you have to do. And as soon as it opened, it
Well,
would
I mean the
close because
physical building. You're saying the
the physical
building is
building.
actually done?
I think the elementary school side is where he was showing, and that looks like it's just about done. And
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a progress.
I mean, for the building, I think I think he should sell the buildings personally, but because it's been long enough to where the value has increased, and he got them at a discount anyway, so he only paid like a quarter of what the value was for that property. And that's a gentrification area, so he should be able to get a good amount of money for that property, and get something that you can really pay for, you can really afford. Storefront
Mhm.
schools, and Lennon can keep making his content, keep paying his bills.
I think Umar just likes what he's doing.
I think
He
he
just
plans on
likes being
dying.
a
I think
spectacle and just being seen.
I think I think he plans on dying. I think he thinks he's gonna die, and that's gonna be how he gets out of it. He really just needs to relinquish the whole the school idea, open up something small and somewhere, and say that you made a school, sell that property. You got to maintain that. It's just too expensive. The yearly budget would be crazy for that place, or do what I said and make it a summer program with an online component that he could release now. He could have students across the world doing in his FDMG online school right now, paying a monthly fee that pays for the campus, and come out on the summer and at the break time, do your events, and then that's it. He doesn't have to make a brick and mortar school at a time when people are going away from it, and Trump is about to disband the Department of Education. That's going to be interesting. That's some news.
Mhm.
They're not going to let him do that, though. So the other Republicans won't let him do that. There's debate inside of the same party. They don't all agree. But
Mhm.
that will be interesting. You can do that in 4 years, and then as soon as the next president comes, they'll put it right back up. This is a Trump sector, like Al said.
What? A Trump sector?
Yeah, that's what Al said. Trump supporter sector.
Lord.
I think it's interesting how like the people who were the least wanted when times were good, right? Sector good, are now the most in demand because of all the stuff that happened in the sector. Now people that were shunned before are now like embraced because they're the only ones willing to get up there and talk.
What do
Everybody
you
else has
mean?
gone
Give
silent.
me an example. Give me an example.
Mikey, Al, even Carrie to a certain extent. There's places where she wasn't welcome, but because of the lull in the sector, everything got down to a crawl. They want whoever will come up becomes like valuable, and so they killed
What?
all the
I don't
panels
know
were.
about all that. I don't know about
What?
that.
Well, you don't. I said that, not you. You don't have to know about it.
I don't know if I
This
agree.
is my opinion.
I don't know
You
if
don't
I
have to
agree
agree.
with that.
You don't have to agree with it. It's not a requirement.
I think, well, here's my take on what you said. I think that people in the sector are mellowing out with each other. I know that
No,
there's still conflicts and people are still
it's
going
still
at each other
optimistic.
and people still want to have quote unquote kerfuffles. But it
No,
seems to me like there's more community amongst people.
yeah.
I'm seeing that a lot. There's a lot more of a community feel. And people are more accepting of those that they may have talked to or chatted with over the years. That's what I'm
Oh, that's so
seeing.
positive. That's so optimistic.
I really do see that.
I believe you see it. I believe you see it. I hear the music. I see the flowers. All of it.
It's
So
true.
yeah, it's true. I believe you see that.
And although he's not my favorite person, Triggs is really good at building that community feel with the people that he likes. And people are kind of warm and fuzzy toward each other. I've seen it also in Divine's chat. I've seen it in Miss VS's new channel. There's like there's more camaraderie, there's more
Yeah,
community amongst some folk. Not
and you
all
can
the way
say,
across the sector, of course, but
and you can
it's
say that that's
definitely there.
well, I think you and I are describing the same thing.
Are we? I don't think it's
Yeah,
because
we're
these
just
are the
describing.
leftover dregs
No,
that weren't accepted before, and now, just because there's a lull, they're allowed to get back up, and I don't think it's that.
oh, I know you don't think it's that, but what you're describing what you see. I see that what you describe doesn't conflict with what I
Mhm.
see. I see
Okay.
you're describing the view from inside of it. I'm talking about the macro view of why it's that way. Why you're seeing that.
Why it's that way?
Yeah. So it's a micro thing. I'm talking about the overall context that led to that. So I'm not saying that what's happening now is bad. I'm just saying that there is a lull and there are fewer people willing to get on panels. There are.
True.
And the result is the people who are willing to talk the most are suddenly popular. They're filling the spot of a bunch of other people.
Mm.
And so our point of view doesn't conflict actually.
Mm.
Different aspect.
Maybe.
The op feed thing really killed a lot of participation. It really did. And maybe because the bulk
I
of
agree.
participation was all conflict, right? So as the arc of participation goes up, the amount of conflict goes up. As the participation comes down, the amount of conflict goes down. So it's not like
Hmm.
when the op fees killed the participation, it kind of did lead to more peace because there was less places for people to say stuff, and it became more of just people on one side only, and the people that were against would just be gone. So in terms of there's some people that look at the sector as Fight Club and they just want to see fights. So to them, that means the sector is dead because there's not enough fighting. Who you want to fight with? That kind of thing. but there's like 3 or 4 different views of what the sector is, and they all interpret it from their own. Some people think that the fighting is roasting. And I'm like, they're not roasting. That's not what roasting is. Roasting is when you laugh at the joke that they told about you. That's not roasting. That's just people fighting. And they got those ones that want the fights. You got those that thinks that it's roasting. They got those that are looking at it as just social media, 2020 angle. This is just people on social media. And you got the others who see it however they see it. But all of them are correct in a way. Everybody's point of view is like correct. It's just a matter of how does it jive with other people's the other person sees. They don't have to really be in conflict. It's just you've seen it from a different seat. But op fees overall, I really do think op fees kills participation. It killed the chat. I mean, I track stuff that people don't
Do you
track.
think primarily that it did? You think that
Yeah.
it's the primary major reason?
Yep.
I don't.
I watched it happen. And so, for example, I have a program that counts chat messages, right? And so I could tell you that Slander Guy's average chat going back years was 1,400. Every Slander Guy show, he got about 1,400 messages. That's about his baseline is about 1,400 chat messages per show. After he implemented op fees, that dropped down dramatically. And by the time he lost that channel, he was averaging about 450 chat messages per show. The chat had dropped down to nothing because the op fees extended to the chat, and nobody wants to go in there, happy, welcome, happy to see people, and then get blocked, and then get put on the Summergram screen that they were blocked.
What about the rate of the chats?
Well, that's connected also. That's the rate of chat would be looking at the same data from a different angle. So the 400 messages over a 2-hour show is like, come on, that's a significant drop when you used to get 1,000 more messages per show. And he was a leader. He was a leader for a long time. For a long time.
In the old shows, were they also 2 hours long?
They vary.
Then how can you compare the number of chats?
Because it doesn't have to be the exact same amount of time. The difference between 1 hour and 45 minutes and a 2-hour show is negligible. If I was to plot it all on the chart for you and make a spreadsheet and show you, you would see the trend. And the trend is this. And after the op fee started, the trend was downward. It doesn't matter if it's exactly this amount. You would see the plot points go up and you would see them go down. And you could say for sure, as a person that's getting on panels now, would you go on the panel knowing that somebody could allegedly pay, and have you thrown off?
Hell no.
And the thing about it is it's allegedly pay. Like, you don't even know if anybody ever paid for anything. So it comes down to all your paranoia kicks in. Like, is this true? Did somebody pay for that person to get put off the panel or not? Or are you just blocking people and making a spectacle of it? And for your own show, for me to make a spectacle of blocking the people that's in this 6 concurrent viewers here, to make a spectacle of blocking the people, how are those people going to feel later on? Are they going to come back? Probably not. Not as publicly.
I think they do for the most part.
I think they don't.
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know who gets kicked off.
Know. And so I would have to show you numbers. Like if I was to show you, do you use Excel?
Yeah.
So if I showed you a pivot table of the different people and the number of messages and number of people who show up, then you could see it dwindle, like the number of people that go down. And you could see the kind of people who are talking, like the amount of messages that each person will be given is different. The things that it changed after that part was added. When it was just tomatoes, it was similar, right? The chat could get somebody out of there with tomatoes, but it was still up to his judgment, and only certain hated people had to worry about it, right? But when you added the money part, it became anybody can get it. Anybody that is, whoever hates someone can control that other person's show. And even if it's a good conversation, now you're throwing away the person that was having a good conversation.
Okay, I have a question for you.
What's that?
So you compared the amount of chats from back then to now on that one show. What are the average number of chats on someone else's show? Wouldn't they be about the same, 400?
Same
Now?
as so who else does a show now?
Triggs, or let's say Drama, when Drama had a show, wouldn't the number of chats be about
Drama
the same?
they weren't.
They
Slander
weren't?
Gods was more, and when Slander God got with Drama, like when he came back he came back and he tied himself more tightly to DJ Drama, then his chat numbers also started to go down.
Really?
And they began to match closer to DJ Drama's numbers. The Drama's numbers was something like 800, 900 messages. And they began to become the same because their show was like an extension of each other's show. They almost became like the same unit. And so they
Okay,
became
let's
closer.
say how about someone like D. Darrell? How many chats would he have?
Darrell's show is not a chat show. So
You're
it's a
not
difference
answering my
between
question.
No, I'm answering your question. I'm just telling you
Okay.
that there's a difference in the kind of show. Like every show isn't a chat show. Darrell has never had a free chat. So we're talking about shows where the chat is free. Darrell's show is not a place where the chat is free. So you can't, for example, you can't talk in Darrell's chat really and say whatever you want because he'll block you. Just like you couldn't in Let Me See Your Transcripts chat. Her chat, what I call it is sitting on the chat where they look at every message and they decide. You couldn't talk freely in Max V's chat. There's certain places where you can't talk freely, so the numbers don't really reflect the same thing.
Okay, what
So
about
Darrell,
Pills? What about
who?
Pills? Pills.
Yeah, Pills is a free chat. Pills is number one. He was
So
up to
how
like
many chats? How many chats
1,800 or
does
so.
he have? Really?
He was getting 1,800 or so chat messages per show. Yeah, before the beef sector thing, and I'm not sure what his numbers are now. I don't really check.
Interesting.
His show was like a in between. The shows like Photon's show, Phil's show. Photon's chat used to be a free chat back before, and Slander God's chat was the free chat, the first free chat really, and Drama show was a mostly free chat. And so it became like the places where the content creator does not overreact to the chat, where he allows people to have conversations. Those are considered to be free chats, versus the content creator taking offense to what the chat is saying, or monitoring it. You ever watch what's her name? Who was it? The Trees lady? All About the Trees?
Only once.
Yeah, I watched her before. Like I remember when that lady came from the B sector to Slander God's chat, and I found her channel. Her chat was so controlled that you couldn't say anything in her chat. She had to approve of every single word that a person said. She was really, really controlling with her chat. And so if you look at her show, even though it's got a lot of viewers, the chat messages were really, really nothing. It's just moderators and just a few messages at that. And so if you were to look at it statistically and look at those numbers, they wouldn't tell you the same kind of information, compared to like a Slander God where people were freely talking before. Everybody just saying exactly what they think. There's a bunch of separate conversations going on. It was really an open, free place. He was the Harriet Tubman in the chat back in the day.
So you're saying that Pills, who also has an open chat, well, before he used to have an open chat before he had mods. You're saying he had more chats in the other show?
Yeah, he did.
Really?
He was like, Pills' show was popular, really popular. He had a really free chat. And you could correct for like the day and the time. You could really get specific and put some more variables on it. When it happened matters. What time was it? What day was it? All that kind of counts into it. So if a person does a their show at a popular time slot, they're going to get more views than they did it at a like my time, 3 o'clock in the morning.
What about LV's show when he had shows?
LV show does okay. It's okay, but you can look at his views and see that LV is he was always a Darrell good guy kind of. He was on that side, even though he was still mostly neutral. He was still kind of on the team.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the number of chats.
Yeah, I am talking about that, and I'm talking about how it impacts the number of chats. So, like, if I'm using the number of chats to say something about the sector, it depends. Like, if it's a team, if I'm looking at like a Crip only kind of chat, it's going to be different. And so LV's was more when he's doing when he was here consistently, he was kind of still a Darrell affiliated kind of good guys kind of person, but he did get the bulk of the sector, I think. Just like Hoodie's numbers are off the charts. Hoodie's numbers were great when he first started doing content for the sector again. When we found him, I guess after PE's purge, his numbers were great. He was in like the 2000s, 2100, 2200.
Of number of chats you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, his numbers were great. I was going to make a like a weatherman show that just showed all of these numbers, the chat numbers. That's how I ended up plotting everything out. Sector weatherman.
That would be interesting, though.
It's interesting to look at the numbers and to look at who are the top 3 chatters. Like there's some people who are the top 3 chatters in everybody's chat. And you can see the numbers of how many chat messages per person. We just put a pivot table, and it's interesting. But Hoodie was really, really popular before he went Hollywood. Then he had if he came back, he'd be really popular again. I think he would have the busiest chat if he came back.
Well, going back to what you were saying about LV's show and the numbers and stats about that, the reason
he doesn't have enough shows.
The reason why I disputed what you were saying is because your original premise was that the chats declined because of the money, because of the op fees. And
Definitely.
LV doesn't have that. So that's why I asked, well, what about LV's show? So I don't think it's fair to really bring in, well, he was a good guy or on the good guys. That's not what I was really talking about.
I hear you, but does LV really count? LV has a show once or twice a year. I don't think so. And what we're talking about, I don't think so. I think if you have a show once a year and you put out the advertisement a month ahead of time, and it's a sector event and people show up for it, that's not a place where you could use those numbers to say anything really concrete. If he had a regular show, it'd be different. But to have a show every now and then, I don't think those numbers indicate anything other than who was available at that time.
I think it does because he has an environment in which there's not any moderation or off fees. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay. I mean, if that's the criteria you're using, moderation. I haven't added moderators have nothing to do with it.
Then what was your point of bringing up Slander God's show? What was your point?
I didn't say anything about moderators. Slander God's show was the bellwether of the sector. Slander God's show was the sector show. That was the sector show, Slander God's show. Because he wasn't firmly on anybody's side. He wasn't on anybody's side. He was completely in the middle of everything.
Okay, you didn't bring that context into it. Now I hear what you're saying. But the main point you were making originally, JJ, is that the op fees killed the chat participation. You didn't talk all about, well, the host of the show is neutral, et cetera, et cetera. You didn't bring that up.
No, I didn't, because it didn't come up. And that's the thing, is that everything about a thing is not going to come out in every sentence that a person says, right? So if you ask questions,
but in order for me to know, I need to hear that, though. That's all.
Then you need to ask that then. If you ask the right questions, then you'll get the right answers.
All right. Don't get
Mm-hmm.
huffy with me. But yeah,
You didn't
you
hear the
make a
huff?
point. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I hear you now.
Mm-hmm. Let me get some data.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making spreadsheets right now, typing fast. Publish some data.
What does the
But
chat
look,
think?
what chat? Oh, we have a chat? Oh, let's see.
Stephanie Collins says, "Are you talking about the number of chats total, like the messages?" And I believe the answer is yes, Stephanie.
I
And
don't know if
Living
the
Life is
mods.
laughing.
You don't need mods. You don't need mods if you're doing op fees and it's unverified op fees. Then it's like, do we really? How do you know anybody ever sent any money? 'Cause, I mean, if the fair way to do op fees would be to show who paid for what and to verify it. Otherwise, people don't really know, and that uncertainty leads them to just not want to participate. You know, because you don't really
That's
know.
what
Is
you're
this really true?
speculating. That's what
I'm
you're
not.
speculating.
You could. That's the thing. Speculation is necessary because it's not information. And then when you look at what happened with the whole blackout thing of trying to purposely not support other and convince other people to not support other content creators. Well, were the op fees real, or was that a part of the blackout thing? All those questions come to the forefront because there's no answer. That uncertainty leads to the questions, and so
I
there's
think the
other
op
places
fees
where it's
were real.
clear,
I think it
huh?
was real. I
Yeah,
think
but
they
you
are
have no
real.
basis. But you have no basis for it. It's like it's a optimism, faith kind of thing. But do you know that they were real?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're talking about what we know versus what we want to be the truth.
But we also
And
don't know if the op fees are non-existent. We don't know that either.
maybe swings both ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it goes without saying. We don't know either way, and that's the point. Is that if some deliberate action is being taken based on something that we don't know, it leads to uncertainty, which leads to speculation, which leads to feelings, right? And in our case, we can see that the participation goes down when people are uncertain. It does.
Living Life
It's
says
only because
someone would have said so by now if there were non-existent op fees or payments, rather.
I don't know how to, I don't know what someone has said or what they haven't said. I'm just talking about what's certain and what's not. I think it should be like this. If the person is if somebody pays the op fees, a portion of the op fees should go to the person that was kicked off. Then they can know it's real. 25% goes to the person who you kicked off. So you pay your $10 and they get, their little piece. Whatever 25% of $10 is. $250.
I have a question for you.
What's that? I like when you announce your
So,
question.
so that
Yeah, it's a
little
question.
mini kerfuffle that happened with you and Photon and the op
Me and you?
fee for Stargate. Did
Oh, that
you
was
do
funny.
that? Did you do that to verify whether or not an op fee was real?
Did I do
Or
what?
were you
What
just
do you
kind
say?
of playing into it? Pardon
Well,
me?
I'm in the words. So what happened? What are you saying happened between Photon and I?
Well, supposedly you paid $500 to reinstate Stargate, right?
That's the kerfuffle?
Yeah, I'm asking. I'm asking if you did that to test your theory about op fees.
So
Is
but you
that why
opened
you're
up, you
saying,
said
well, we don't know if someone really did pay an op fee or not? Is that why you did that?
well, let me say something. So you said the kerfuffle between Photon and I, and then you said the op fees. So are you saying that
That was mhm.
it's between the kerfuffle has something to do with that?
According to Photon.
What is that? What is he saying?
He had a bone to pick because he said that you weren't telling the truth about paying $500 for Stargate to stay on the panel. That's what he said.
Let me tell you the problem with that.
Go ahead.
The problem with answering that kind of question is that what he did was that's a false premise. Photon had a problem with people like you and other people coming to a live stream on this channel. And what he did after he saw that in his hater mode is he just threw out a bunch of reasons as to why. So for me to answer one of the deflection straw man reasons would make it valid when it's not true. Did you see that show that night with Stargate?
No.
Okay, I got the clips. I'll actually run the clips and show you, or I'll send you a link to it so you can see. So his reasoning for why he says he's upset is that whatever he said is just bullshit. He's actually just a hater, and he's throwing out reasons. And so if you grab any one of the reasons that he throws out and try to answer it, you're making it seem like it's valid when it's not.
Okay,
Everybody
point
in the
taken.
chat, yeah, everybody in the
Mhm.
chat, including Stargate and him, they knew that I didn't send him $500. They knew that.
Everybody in
I
the
said
chat knew
that.
that?
I'm talking about it was only a few people there. It was just a couple of us. They knew that I didn't send him
So
$500. This was he was being cornered and emasculated by Allen for the
right.
$500 to kick Stargate out. And this is if
Mhm.
you believe that he sent $500, right? And I matched
Mhm.
his $500 by saying, telling Photon, who was in the corner and didn't know what to do, I just sent you $500. And once I put that in the chat, he had the option to like everything else I put in the chat, to use it as part of his show and continue, or to just ignore it. So he saw it
Okay.
and he used it. No, not okay. Let me finish what I'm saying. He saw it and he
Okay.
used it as part of his show. And if you listen
Yeah.
to the show where he complained about it, he said the show was great after that, and he was happy that I did that
Mhm.
because he wanted to bring Stargate back up. And since then, Allen has said that he didn't send him $500 either. Though I believe that he did send him $500. But it's possible that he never got any money from anybody. He definitely didn't get any money from me, and nobody's ever received any money from me. That was clearly a joke in a joking area. And in that moment, he knew it was, and he accepted it. And afterward, they talked about it. And after that,
Mhm.
Stargate came over to this channel, and we talked about stuff. So when he threw it out as part of the reason why he's upset, that was all bullshit.
Okay, well,
He's
just erase that I said that. Just take away Photon's name. I'm
Why
just
do I have to erase it?
asking, were you involved in joking about the $500? Because
Was I involved in
you
joking about the
knew.
$500?
Yes, you said it was a joke. That's what you said just now.
Yeah, I think you need to watch it, and then you see the full context, and you see how that happened, and then you
Let me
understand.
ask you about what you said just now. So
Okay, go ahead.
so the situation with the $500 and how you jokingly offered that in order to keep the show going and have Stargate on there and to save Photon from being emasculated. Okay, so that situation. In your mind, were you thinking, oh, this is just a joke? This doesn't really mean anything. This is just for the show. Do you believe that because you also believe that the op feeds are a farce as well? Op feeds, not
What?
just on Photon's channel,
That's,
but on
no, I think
other
it's
people's channels.
no.
I'm just asking if they're related.
Yeah, I think that the conversationally, I can see how we can make the leap from one thing to the other. Because in this
Mhm.
conversation, we were talking about op fees, but that had nothing to do with what we're talking about in this conversation. No, they're not connected at all. It has nothing to do with op fees and what that was a opportunity. There's a moment where he was being put in the corner. And he obviously didn't want to do it. And it was funny the idea that somebody paid to put it back on. And that was it. And that's the way the show went after that.
JJ, your sound is getting a little fuzzy again.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, for me it is, unless it's my phone. Maybe it's me.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1. Is it my headset? Let me see here.
Yeah, Miss Gemini says there's static again.
Let me mute my microphone here and unmute it if that does it. How's that now?
It still sounds fuzzy.
It's fuzzy to you also?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
listen to the
now
output?
it's getting better now.
Oh, let me see.
But Living Life says it's really bad.
All right, let me switch my microphone to this this conference microphone in front of me here. We'll go to the external built-in with the noise reduction. How's that?
It sounds better to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You hear any background noise?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah, that was the same. I was still using the software mixer.
Miss Gemini said, "Quit messing up my free show."
Free show. This is the boring show. Static is good for the show. And so I need to show you clips so you can get that. And you know, I think it's always a mistake to how do you say what's my quote? My quote is like it's a mistake to try to um, disprove a lie to the liar who created the lie. You know, and it's the same thing with things that Photon is saying. The details of the things he's saying doesn't matter because his reason for it is bullshit, and it's just a matter of him being a hater. Same
I
reason he's
agree.
talking.
I shouldn't
Same
have
thing.
mentioned him.
Same
I
same reason
shouldn't
he's
have
talking
mentioned him
about.
because
Same
that
reason he's
wasn't
talking
my
about.
point.
Same reason he's talking about Don M. Like Don, what's Don done to Photon? Same reason he's
Mm-hmm.
talking about anybody, a brother of a certain age, anybody that he sees doing anything, he it's like he's a virus because the only reason that he would have to even mention those people is that at some point in time they had some contact with him, and so now he feel like he has license to troll them or to talk shit about that person, you know. And it's like, well, so that means that you are like a virus. You're like a sentence for some people. You know, they're sentenced to deal with you for the rest of their YouTube career. For what?
A
And for
sentence.
it's like, listen, and for me, it was funny because the boring show again is not a show. I'm trying to get people to try EVMux, and so this is like a company that you see as part of some company training or something. It's not a real anything. I want people to hit the link and see the background. I want people to see what's possible. But he didn't know that, and he thought it was a real show. So he thought he was shitting on a real show of somebody that is a supporter of his and has been a supporter of his for like 3 years, right? To the point where he can't even play any of his regular intros because they got my content mixed in with them, and he doesn't want to show anything that I gave him. So why would you have that much vitriol to go for over 2 hours ranting about 5 or 6 people in the chat and talking on the panel with Keeper for a minute? Why would he be that bothered? It's because he is a hater. And the hater mode thing is not like a temporary state. That's his default mode. He doesn't know how to deal with other people doing things. And he's making these claims about about his silver plaque. But his silver plaque is not in the live streaming sector. He's just as unmonetized as everybody else in the sector.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have any great experience or success live streaming. He has some success copying his brother's uploads using that same concept. That's it. So how can he really tell people about to go to his success in live streaming when he's doing the same thing everybody else is doing? He just gets confused. And I want to bet you something. How much money you got? I bet you $500. 500. I'll send it to you right now. $500 right now. After every time Photon is confronted about his shit and it's valid, the next show is about real estate investing. The next show is about real estate. It's about what he can do, how he can help you get this money. The next show is always about the same thing. I want to put together a compilation that shows it. Like, why are we talking about real estate investment now? What's that got to do with what we talking about? Because he feels like he has to show something. And the funny part is that he could just stop talking about it and just go on with his, I released it on my community wall. Let's just go forward. But he's still shooting shots for what? His chat is down to nothing. He had like 97 messages in this chat total. He was just popular again. And the only thing that pushes him back is him being a hater. When he could just do his show, let other people do their show. And, if he got something constructive to say something constructive. Instead of, insulting people. Are you fighting?
No, I'm just.
Sound like somebody fighting in the background.
No.
It's gonna be a headline. YM was fighting in the background while JJ ranted. Rawr!
No, I was laughing and then I woke up my dog. That's all.
This has been way too exciting. I think you are sabotaging the boring show with these exciting questions, evoking these exciting answers. This is supposed to be really, really boring with slow music in the background. Since nobody else wants to hit the link and see the wonderful Evie Mux background. You learn how to use the application now? Are you on your phone or computer?
I'm on my phone.
So you learn how to use the background now? The off-stage feed, the on-stage feed?
I don't know all that mess. I'm just up here talking to you.
I want to have an argument I need two people to argue so I can put the timer in between them and see how that works for real.
I'm glad that you switched gears, but that was interesting about the chat numbers.
What switch gears? What do you mean switch gears? I heard you say that.
You heard me say what?
I'm glad that you switched gears.
Yeah, I'm glad that you switched gears.
That was verbal, right? I'm just wondering if you know. Okay, so because it's verbal, I got to answer that part too, right?
No, you could just let it go.
Yeah, but why would I? It's like, are you speaking the parts that's supposed to be in your head?
Yep.
Come on now, you're chatting too much. Too many words in the chat.
No, but for real, I am glad that you switched gears, but that's all I'm gonna say about that.
And so what you're implying is that there was something wrong with the gear that I was in. See, that's a new headline right there.
No.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're doing. Oh, YM, I just got $1,000. Nah. Somebody just sent me somebody that doesn't have Cash App just sent me a Cash App. And I believed it, even though I didn't see it. Trolling. I want to get this trolling thing defined and clear. Like, who is a troll and what is a troll?
I was thinking about that when Al was in the chat. Like, what is a troll? But I feel like that question has been discussed so much.
I don't think that it has.
It has. People always talk about what a troll is and what trolling is, and what trolling is okay and what trolling is not.
I don't recall that. I don't recall anybody having a real conversation about what a troll is. I don't, because the people talking are trolls. Like, I think Photon really doesn't know he's a troll, and Al doesn't know he's a troll. That the 90% of everything he says is against somebody else. And if that's not trolling, I don't know what trolling is. Because those people don't even have anything to say to him, but he's constantly talking about those other people. That's trolling to me.
Well, it's never been a central point of conversation. Like, it hasn't been a topic on someone's channel.
It's been a weapon.
It comes up a lot in different conversations and bits and pieces in the chats.
Yeah, that's why it's a good topic.
Comment section here and there. People are always talking about, well, that's not what trolling is. Trolling is blah, 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 blah.
It needs to be, though, because, I mean, for example, if a troll is having a conversation about trolling, right, and doesn't recognize that he's a troll, then what is he really talking about?
Mhm.
So people are using it as a weapon just to say troll means someone who is undesirable to that person. So,
Right,
e-
of course.
so the troll could be the person that's telling the truth, for example, when this person doesn't want the truth to be told. So that person is a troll.
Mhm.
That's how you become a troll. Do you think you're a troll?
Well, no.
I don't think so either. So
I don't even know how to troll. I don't know
yeah.
how to do the things that people do that call themselves trolls.
So how are you labeled as a troll then?
Well, for some people, a troll is someone on the internet who doesn't identify themselves or show their face or say what their name is.
That means that most people are trolls then, because most people don't show their face, and everybody on the radio is a troll, I guess. The thing is, the idea that's the part that got lost in the sector. The idea that because we know your name and because you came up that you're not a troll is a lie. You a troll based on behaving like a troll, regardless of if we know who you are or not.
Mhm.
So there's a bunch of people in the sector. Most people in the sector, we don't know who they are, but they don't behave like trolls. So we don't call them
Right.
trolls, right? Nobody calls living life a troll. So it's like, well, it depends on what you're doing. So if you're behaving as a troll would behave, then you're a troll. Photon, Al, you're a troll. We know your whole name. You're still a troll. Versus people that are being called trolls just for being the opposition to people who are trolls.
Mhm.
It needs to be it needs to be made clear. I think it needs to be a clear definition so people understand it and address it when it comes up, because that's a serious accusation. This is serious business. YM, Yolanda,
Everything is serious business. Everything's serious business.
it is.
I used to think that a troll was a person who wanted to be disruptive or incendiary on the internet. But in this sector, it is that and more because a lot of times, like Chad T just said, a troll is a person who lies, like who strategically lies all the time or creates narratives or, spreads rumors that they know that aren't true in
It's
order
also
to cause harm.
that's kind of technical. In order to cause harm is like it's a value judgment. Whereas if you look at that definition, a lot of that same stuff could also be used for someone who just makes jokes. So what's the difference between somebody joking and somebody trolling?
Is a lie a joke?
A lot of jokes are lies. If you go back to I don't know if maybe you don't have it, but you go back to the standing in a circle talking about each other, capping sessions. That's all of it was lies. That's what made it funny. If I say
What
your
is a
mother
troll to
play,
you?
if I say your
What is a
mother's,
troll to you?
if I say your mother plays linebacker for the New York Giants, that's not true. It's a joke. And so
What is a troll to you?
what is a troll to me? I
Yeah.
guess I think it's similar to your definition. It's like when in the sector, if the overwhelming majority of what you talk about is about being an antagonist to somebody else, then you're a troll.
Mm.
If you show up just to try to bother people, and that's the bulk of what you do, then you're a troll. Nobody's happy to see you. You know, it's not just you're not just socializing like other people. You were there to cause harm, and harm being using a relative sense. Harm meaning like to take whatever's happening away from what's happening towards some other direction. That's not good. That everybody doesn't want.
How you gonna take my word and then before that say that it's subjective?
What word is that?
Harm.
You just say harm was your word?
Yeah, I use that in my definition, JJ.
Did you use the same version of it that I did? Don't get me
I
started. Don't make
believe
me
so.
grab. I don't think you did.
I think I did.
I don't think so.
Mm.
So in the dictionary, it says that this word belongs to Yolanda Martinez.
No,
My
it
definition of
doesn't
harm
have to
is
say
different.
that.
Mine's is clear. Yours is unclear. My definition of harm is clear. Meaning it
How?
takes the because
Okay.
I showed that it's based on what's happening there. So if the for example if what's going on in the space is a boxing match, right, and you jump in the ring and say why can't we all just get along, then you're harming the boxing match. Even though what you said might have been true or good, but in this context, you're really just disrupting our thing. We're here for the fight. You understand what I'm saying? And so a person that
Yeah.
jumps in those spaces just to make people upset, that person is a troll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see you. What's up, Chad T?
So everyone that was going to Al's
You know
live when
what?
he said he didn't want them there was trolls. Oh, that's a good
Was that?
question.
I'm trying to
Chad
read
is
these all
asking,
caps.
so everyone that was going to Al's live when he said he didn't want them there was trolls?
Everyone's going to Al live when he didn't want them there was troll. Yeah, to Al, you were trolls. To ask Al, did he think you were trolls? You were trolls to him. And if you went somewhere like that and the person didn't want you there, would you leave? Would you leave, YM?
I did leave. I was one of the people who went to his live.
Yeah. So if
I
you show up
wasn't
somewhere,
bothering him. I wasn't
yeah, just being there, right?
disrupting his live, but he was so upset that I was there that I left.
Right. No, but so if you didn't leave and you came back under another count, then now you are a troll, right? And you're just saying stuff to make him mad, then that makes you a troll. But if some people's live you go to, they're gonna kick you out. I've been
Mm-hmm.
kicked out of some places once. I never went back again. I understand these all caps is kind of easy to read. Isn't it easy to read?
It is easier.
I think everybody should type in all caps.
What a do, what a do. That's the voice I hear when I see all caps, no matter who it's from.
ABOACA. Come on now. Let's get all the boring people together. We're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna tune each other to the same tone so we all sound like love and have a long, like 4-hour conversation. Make them crazy. Yeah, I didn't realize that was why you was typing in all caps, Chad. That's very, very considerate. Makes me want to cry a little
That's
bit.
not why he's doing it. He's just loud.
I want to play some sentimental music now.
I think that the all caps matches Chad T's voice. Not
But
that
why
he's a
isn't his
loud
name?
person, but he has a big personality.
So why is his name not in all caps? That's the thing that's
I
confusing to
don't
me.
know. I don't know why.
Interesting.
He did it to be different, he says.
Nah, he doesn't want to say it. I got the video of Chad T. That he says it's not him, the dude with the gun. Convince the guy to come in his house and help him out. He don't want to be known as a nice guy, but you did that all caps just for us to be able to read your stuff easier. I see what you're doing, Chad T. We appreciate it. Because the regular text, I can barely see that. Oh, Miss Gemini says she reads this with a southern accent.
Me too. So
Really?
do I.
I think Chad T might be the most popular person in the sector that does not have a show. Yeah. So YM been up here grilling me, trying to start a fight for the last hour or so.
No.
About op fees.
It was a good conversation.
I think what's the equivalent of op fees outside of, if you tried that in real life? I want you to try that. Next family gathering. What's the next family gathering? Is it Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you try op fees. Offer whoever's house you're at $100 to make somebody leave. The cousin that you don't talk to. Just pay to get him kicked out. I want him gone. 150. See if that helps the relationship.
Oh, beautiful is still in the chat. Yay.
No, she said it's not boring. What? Why? This is supposed to be boring. What the hell? See, this is YM's fault.
No.
Come with all that excitement.
Hey, I offered to give Al my spot.
Al. He's gonna talk shit about it later. I couldn't deal with Al. I could talk to Al for a long time. Al is an interesting guy, actually. But he was legitimately shocked when I mentioned that he was a ghostwriter. That's why I say he does not remember the past. He was shocked. Have you ever seen the meme of like the guy doing the magic trick for the monkey behind the glass, and the monkey's so shocked when the thing disappears?
I think I have seen that.
That's exactly how he responded to me saying he was a ghostwriter. Like, how did you know I was a ghostwriter? Yeah, you told us, Al. You was a ghostwriter. That's how I know. I think he really doesn't remember. I want to drag out all those clips. I saw on Stargate's and Slant of God show. I think most of it is on Stargate show, and maybe some on CoFam, to show him that he really was here before. But I have experience with people that have problems with their memory, like a person that's going through old age. And one of the rules is don't ever confront them with their lack of, with whatever they're lacking. It makes them feel worse because they already feel like they're losing their grip on everything. And then when you let them know that, oh, we met before, that makes them sink lower. So I was kind of concerned about that. I had that recently. I had that that wasn't recent. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. I ran into a guy that I knew. I hadn't seen him in 10 years. And he was 87 or something this time before I saw him. So he was 97. And I talked to him and he didn't know it was me. And I didn't want to tell him. So we just talked like new people and talked about chess and some stuff. And then I left because I didn't want to confront him with that, make him feel like he was losing his memory. But to be 97 and still playing chess is, is something. He was a pretty sharp guy.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. 150 to put somebody out. Send that 150 to my Cash App, beautiful. It doesn't exist though, so it might be harder. What's your Cash App, Yolanda Martinez? Is it $ Yolanda Martinez?
I'm not gonna tell.
Why not?
I do have a Cash App. Surprisingly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this: have you ever paid somebody's off fees?
No.
That chuckle. That means you lying.
No, I would never do that.
That's unbelievable. So even if you were running the channel and you got a $150 offer like Beautiful just offered, and the Cash App money comes out of the ATM machine, right? You got to, that could pay your electricity bill or something.
I wouldn't take it.
You wouldn't take it?
No.
Why?
I wouldn't.
See, I'm on both sides of it. Like I'm on the side that says get your money, right? But you deal with the consequences. So once you start offering it, I'm like, how can you tell somebody to turn down $500? If anything, you should say, well, where's my part? So if you're gonna kick me off of 500, okay, give me 100 of it, and I'll go, and I'll come back again and be even worse, be more rambunctious, and get it up to 1,000.
No, that wouldn't be my interest.
So would you want to, for example, say you like me, for example, and somebody offered me $500 to get rid of you? If I kicked you off, would you be mad at me?
I've thought about that. Not about that scenario, but I've thought about that when people are faced with that. Like I heard Lemon the other night telling someone, "I'm sorry, but I gotta drop you." I think he was telling Jay Dunn.
Yeah, the money is real.
And I thought to myself, how would I feel?
If it was reverse, I would not be mad at you, and I would want you to get your money because the money is real. It goes in your gas tank. pays for your food. So if you're going to advertise op fees, then it just becomes this is the environment now where people are going to have to do what they're going to have to do based on the money. That's why I would never
Damn.
have it as part of my. I would never have it as part of my platform. You know, or I would never invite anybody that I like to my platform if I had op fees.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like you can't come on my panel because I don't want you to get kicked off.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful said. Damn, is something wrong with me if I take it?
No, nothing wrong with you. Take your money. I can see
Living
it. I mean, I
Life
understand
says,
it.
and I agree, op fees messed up Toy Lady and Star's friendship. I agree.
Did it, or was the op fee just the vehicle that let them see who they really were as people?
JJ, stop. I
Hey,
think it
hey,
did
hey,
mess up their
hey,
friendship.
hey. But why did it mess up the friendship?
We don't know that. We can't know.
Well, then how can you say that it messed up the friendship if you don't know why it messed up the friendship?
Well, one of them mentioned that it was a problem, so it messed up the friendship.
Man, if you get money, if somebody pay you and you need the money, look, get the money, please. Please kick me
That's
out.
true. Everybody doesn't feel like that, JJ.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm only speaking for me. That's why I said YM.
Well, you weren't in the situation though. It was Star and Toy Lady.
That's why I said if YM.
Okay.
If I means it's
Okay.
hypothetical. Hypothetical.
You love to get snippy.
I thought you were going to say snitty again. You said snit so far. Now you said snip. Now you got succumb. All these fancy words. But those are all
Just
welcome on the
saying.
Boring Show because the bigger the words or the more obscure the words, the better.
We
Appreciate
have
it.
to have some specificity when it comes to you.
Oh, look at that. You do have to. I mean, why would you communicate if you're not going to be clear? What's the point?
All right.
Unless you're a member of ISIS chat and you just want to be misunderstood. whatever you write is going to be misunderstood. But I actually understood eyes for a moment. The last show, because I responded to something out of context, and it was you remember the what was it, the Big Kahuna Burger thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I look back at that video, like I see what you're saying in the chat, where I wasn't paying attention to it before. And the funny thing is that the name of the picture that I downloaded from the internet is called Royale with Cheese. That's the name of the file. And that's what it
Oh.
shows. That's what it shows me in my layers. Is Royale with Cheese is the file name. And even though I know that that's the Big Kahuna Burger scene, but I could see how the context gets lost in the moment in the live stream.
How many times have you seen Pulp Fiction?
When it first came out, I saw it a lot. Usually, when I get into a film, I get the script, I get all the details about it, and I'm looking at it from a screenwriting perspective. So I was really into it when it first came out. And,
Then a
so
misnamed
maybe
file is no excuse, JJ.
was that
A misnamed file is no excuse.
excuse for what?
For missing that was a Kahuna Burger and not a Royale with cheese.
No. Excuses are made to people in authority. So I would never make an excuse. I'm just explaining what the situation was.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Why you want to fight me?
I'm just saying. I'm not
Tell the
trying to fight.
people.
I'm just saying.
They don't know all the fights that we had in the past.
Well, they sure don't.
Exactly. All the wrestling, headlocks. I've been body slammed by YM like 3 or 4 times.
No. Don't believe him.
Mm-hmm.
But we have had kerfuffles. I'll say that.
I don't think so. They're all one-sided. Your side.
No.
No, I've never been angry at YM ever.
I didn't say that I was angry.
I didn't
It's a
say that you said you were
kerfuffle.
angry. I said
Well, a kerfuffle.
look. Let's get this straight. Look. I refers to me.
I know that.
I have never been angry at YM ever. So
And I have never been angry with JJ.
Woo. Okay.
I've been annoyed by you, but not angry. We have had kerfuffles. I'll just leave it at that.
one-sided kerfuffles.
If someone's in a kerfuffle, they're not necessarily angry. It just means that there's a conflict.
Oh, it's so technical, but I'm not. You know what I mean.
That's the second time you've used technical to describe something that I've said.
Yeah, I meant it. It's the right word.
I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out.
All this conflict, all this unstated conflict. Is Toy Lady still here? Oh, she was listening, right? She doing some
I think she's
reading.
done cleaning by now.
Oh, Stargate's not really like a chat person. Yeah, Stargate doesn't chat. I know that's true. I haven't seen her much in the chat. Look at Chad asking controversial questions. Yeah, I heard all that. I was watching all that during my hiatus. Yeah, I heard it.
You gonna answer him?
Answer what? That I'm Laquan Fisher?
No, he's asking you, what do you think about that?
I think that the way the sector goes is whoever is not present is the person who did whatever is being done. Because the rationale for it being me was that I wasn't there, as if it's impossible to be in more than one place at a time in these accounts. So I've been accused of being a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true.
True. In person and online. For in real life. Was it you that?
Look at Chad T. Let's go YM. There's no let's go.
I appreciate it. That's a 5-line all caps comment, and that's welcome over here, Chad T. The longer the comment, the better. I want people to give up like halfway through reading the sentence and just get bored and fall asleep. I think it's a good time to show the Chantel DNA video again. Are they still saying that Shanti and Chad T is the same person?
Yep.
Like 2 keyboards? That's impressive, actually. If you could type with your left hand and with your right hand, that's impressive. And I've never seen. How come I've never ever seen on this show Josephine and YM on the panel at the same time? Why is that?
I don't know.
Let's see what the Chantel DNA. I think the voice on this Chantel DNA sounds like Josephine, actually.
Wait, is the name of the character Chantel?
Oh, that was the name of the voice. So I actually just made it. So the first part of that's him. It's just changed to like a 12-year-old girl's voice.
Yeah, I recognized him.
Yeah. That's the name of the voice.
Or the other dude. It's just like it's the lion for me. It's telling me he's sent me $500 and he going over there, got Stargate over there, and got all these other women that don't be hitting my link for the very reason just to get me. Like, yo, what's he doing?
Okay, I see.
What is he about? What does he know? And then I'm listening to his content. I don't like people that trying to sound like they know something about YouTube, and it's just dumb. They sound dumb.
Be knowing stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's dumb to sound like you know stuff. Think about that.
I can hear you on that.
And I just want to just trying to expose these clowns, these narcissists, these people that's really jealous. They the ones hating. And then I'm trying to work with them. And then he had my bro, like he had some, like I could go into a lot of shit. Like he's a weirdo, dog. He's a weirdo. And I don't like to be around weirdos. Like I'll just be watching from the side like, yo, I've been like, I don't need you. For him to even say, I'll never hit your link because you on StreamYard and all this other shit. Like, come on, man. I don't mess with people like that. But then they want to go live and drop the link and expect everybody to just run to them. And they ain't even put in no work. They just want to play some songs and dance and just sit there and try to sound all calm. I think that's just some fake ass shit. And then he ain't even ADOS. And then he want to play all the ADOS music. He don't want to give it up to Nigeria, play some Nigerian music and whatnot. Try to act like he's smart. Try to act like he know about slavery and the struggle. And he ain't even struggled even on these YouTube streets. sound like you know about the algorithm and who makes money and how much money they make, for shorts and not shorts. You ain't making no money off of shorts. Like, what the fuck you know?
How much YouTube paid me for shorts with 10 million views. But for now, AdSense made me $10, so a lot less than what it would have been if it was a long video.
What do you know?
I feel you. Okay, that makes perfect sense now. I see where it's coming from now. Seems to be a
That
valid
same
point.
Lynn and Honor stuff. It's like that. And then and these corny women, they just keep running to corny people like that. It's just weird. Like, that's your man
Corny
keeper.
women.
You like niggas like that?
You're not.
He ain't even got no money like because if he did, he would have put his money where his mouth was. Because if he want to talk about it and lie, just pay some money to get her back on. Why you gotta lie about it? I don't do that. I don't be trolling people like that. Yo, I just sent you 500. I went with it because I was just trying to study him and see where he going with his lie. But he ain't going nowhere. He's going to get people to come to his chat, making him seem like he's popular. But he know he's boring. He ain't got shit to talk about. But he trying to sound like he's calm and collect, saying the same old thing. I'm calm. Photon isn't. I'm the calm one. I'm the smarter one. I'm collect. Look, but he ain't got nobody coming over there. And they only going over there just to save face, because they could tell he a lonely, desperate fuck nigga.
You're not.
And then once they see he ain't even keeping them at. He's not dancing with them. He's like, oh, this nigga can't even dance. He don't even know nothing about in technology or nothing. He just a one-trick pony, just playing music like the rest of them. I'm out.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Unless you really desperate and lonely or a robot, they'll just stay there because shit, he's on their nuts. So, and that's what I see over there. That's what's going on over there. He ain't hit my Cash App. That's another thing. I'm dealing with real people, real life situations. I'm trying to grow this channel, and this man want to come on my channel talking about I'll never hit your link like the rest of them. That's why the sector ain't going nowhere, because they ain't never hitting links. They just want to take all the women and seem like they the giver of all needs and all that shit. He ain't giving out nothing but hate.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
But when I expose and talk about them, even if I'm talking loud and yada yada, speaking all fast and cussing and whatnot, yo, take that aside and really listen and evaluate the truth. Really. They trying to come over here, these immigrants, and try to take over our shit and act like, oh yeah, yo don't deserve it because you ain't no hard workers. What you working on? What you been hard working on? Acting like they so smart and whatnot, but they mopping floors and fixing broken screens and whatnot. Because they obviously they haven't mastered this YouTube stuff, or they would be popping. They haven't mastered Avismo because he wanted to have all this music over talking him and got all these weirdo ass verticals this way and that way. It's a shit show over there. And I'm here to expose these cornballs, one cornball at a time. Shout out to Lynn and Honor.
You can tell this thing is off, you hear me?
Why?
Because you don't love him, that's why. I know. I've been with you. You love me, baby.
I gotta figure out what that white lady thing means.
Worth of ranting.
Huh?
Prepare for a week's worth of ranting.
Nah, you don't. Nah, this is just a little something. You know it's true.
It is.
We could do much worse. This is just like a demo. So I like this concept of the TV. On your phone, is that too small?
No,
video?
it's not this one.
See,
It's
isn't that
fine.
odd? That's crazy, right? That little bit amount of space, you can still see it clearly. That's why I say vertical is got more space than the wide mode. You can get way more stuff on the screen, and it's still acceptable being that small. So you should try EVMux, YM. When you going live?
I don't know. I don't have anything to say.
What? I think you say the most of anybody in the sector.
Nah.
What? You could just take your you just speak what you've been writing, like the YM report.
Speak my speech.
Yeah, speak your speech.
Beautiful said, "Are you a sponsor?"
Sponsor? What does that mean? Is that the right word? She's talking about money again? Yeah, I couldn't find the violins that I wanted, So I ended up using the violins for the theme from the piano. You remember the piano?
Huh?
You remember the movie The Piano with Holly Hunter?
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
What? Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. I'm
I got.
sorry.
Let me write that down. Hold on. That is
Deepest
crazy.
apologies.
It's in my YN file. She never saw the piano.
Never seen the
That's
piano.
that is that is that is that's trolling right there. That should be illegal.
I think Beautiful wants to know if you have stock in EV Mux.
If I have what? Stock?
Stock. Do you have some kind of ownership?
No. If EV Mux was public and they sold stock, I would have stock in EV Mux. Definitely.
Do you have some kind of financial tie to EV Mux?
No.
Are you an employee of EV Mux?
No. I should be though.
Okay.
But I mean, that would be nice if I was. But I just refuse to pay StreamYard $44 with no notice. My bill was $10 a month, and then they said they're gonna charge me $44. And I'm like, for what? You don't even have any features. It's only worth $10 a month. Anybody paying more than $10 a month is crazy. I was sending out those discount things for the $10 a month to everybody I knew in email. And I think a couple of people took me up on the offer and got the Essentials plan. It was supposed to be a lifetime plan for $10. And so I was upset. Like, I'm not paying $44. I'll pay somebody else $50 before I pay StreamYard $44. Because the way that they did it is crooked.
It's the principle of the matter.
It is. Because I used to have the $50 account for about 2 years, I think. And so it's not about the money. It's just the principle of it. And then you look at the features. I'm like, it doesn't even have any features. And you're paying $44 for what? When you can come over here and use the free account and have more features than they have on the paid account, or pay the $19 a month, which comes, or the $25 for the monthly plan, just like the old StreamYard used to be, and get way more features. Because YouTube is going vertical. They're trying to push everybody vertical, and being able to put all your production stuff, do all your production work at one time when you got time, and then being able to do the show at a later time and have all that work reflected in the show is great. It's easy. It's convenient.
Well, like I said, it sounds like P-Pre is interested. Divine seemed like she had a little interest, but she said that it's a bit too technical or too much button pushing going on.
Actually, I think it's less button pushing because
Well, you
again,
would say that. You would say that.
what I say is the truth. The button pushing is done in pre-production. So when you got time and you're working on it, that's when all of the button pushes was done. Right now, I'm pushing very few buttons during this time. I'm just changing the scene. That's it. Because all the work has been done.
Some of us might not be as accustomed to programs such as this. So I think some people like Divine or me, even if I were interested in live streaming, will want something more straightforward and simple.
Oh, so you
And I
can
know
do
you're going to say, well, it's easy. Yes, for you, it's easy.
No,
But
I
I
don't.
think for others, like they might need a little more time to learn it.
Have you ever used EV Mux?
No.
So what you talking about?
I'm just saying what Divine said about it.
Where is that
I'm
song?
empathizing with her.
I need to get Cameo talking out the side of your neck.
I'm not talking out the side of my neck.
You are, because
I'm
you
speaking for her.
talking about it like you've seen the interface and it's difficult when you haven't, because it's not. It's the same as StreamYard.
I am reporting on what Divine said.
Mm-hmm. You're making this show way too exciting. I'm going to have to change the title to the almost boring show.
It's still the boring show.
Why would you stay with StreamYard for another year? Why? What's the rationale? Why? Why? Sign up for a free account of EMUX and go try it, and then try to go back to StreamYard. You won't last a year.
Brother, I'm not going live.
You live right now. This is the YM show.
I will not be running my own live stream.
Well, fortunately, if you use EVMux, you don't have to run your own live stream. Somebody else can run it.
Oh,
It's a producer product, so I can actually run anybody else's show from right here. Set up a studio for YM with all YM stuff. Go live on YM's channel, and YM just go do what you're gonna do.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
you can have multiple studios, a studio for each person that has their own show with all their own stuff in it. Load your stuff up, do all your pre-production, and then let somebody else push the buttons. And all you're doing is, coming in the way you came in now and starting. But it's coming from somebody else's internet. So my internet will be used for your show.
Wow.
Yeah. Can't do that with StreamYard. For another year.
Well,
Keep this
he
pinned
didn't
up
say
here.
what his reason is. It might be because he's more accustomed to using StreamYard.
He just started using StreamYard. StreamYard just came into existence.
So what? Now, a brother of a certain age
He put a big
says,
word in the chat.
YM, the way you was talking about your voice, talking about my voice, made it seem like you talk with an electrolarynx. What does that mean?
I really don't appreciate that, a brother of a certain age, because if you were
I
considerate
don't know
like
what you're
Chad
talking
T,
about. What
you
does
were
he
considered
mean?
like Chad T, it would be all in caps so we could read it easier. But only Chad T is that considerate. We
I
appreciate
think
all
a brother
caps
of a certain
paragraphs.
age is just trying to get smart. I think that's what you're doing.
He is smart. You don't have to get smart.
You know what I mean.
I see your little backhanded insults. But he also has that voice, so we need those calm voices to offset all the craziness.
Is he calm?
He's calm,
Oh
but
yeah.
he's calm in a
You
way
were
though that
throwing some shade at him. You were throwing shade at a brother of a certain age, calling him
no,
monotone.
he is monotone. So am I. He's calm in a way that means that he has a gun in the trunk of his car though.
Oh.
Yeah, my father was that kind of calm. The shotgun in the trunk, and the shoulder holster 357 Magnum. Same kind of quiet, same kind of calm. It's a security based calmness.
Voice, but it's not a scary voice. I have a calm voice though.
You sound like Spottum on a voice changer, actually, respectfully.
If you have to say respectful, it's not respectful.
And respectfully is Spottum's word. I was just joking. I said that about you with Spottum's voice using Spottum's language. That was a joke.
I thought respectfully was photons.
No, that's Spottum's.
You learn something new every day.
A lot of stuff in the sector is from Spottum's family.
He has started a few things, made things catchy.
He's bigger than he wants to be. I think bigger influence than he probably thinks.
That's what I like about him.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like Spottum, because when I first ran into him, when I first encountered him, all he would do was troll me. He would insult me when I would say something. He would say something mean about it. Like, he would always do that.
He was just playing with you.
Mm.
I mean, isn't it the same way when you come to a new area, new neighborhood, new school, with black people, especially amongst the boys, when we were young, we fought. So the guy that you had to fight with, if you flash forward 6 months, and that's your best friend. It's like the environment was that. Like you got to test each other first, and if the people that can't take it, they fall away. But the ones that can take it, they become part of the group.
Mm-hmm.
The sector did that to Al.
Yeah.
And now he's accepted, right? And the ones that can't take it, they just leave forever.
I don't know about that. Is Al accepted? I guess.
Listen, if you can go click a link and stay on the panel for 2 hours, you're accepted. Multiple places, he's accepted, definitely.
I have no comment.
but you made a comment saying that you have no comment, so that is a comment.
No further comment, rather.
I can hear you. It's funny. I think your talking is like you are chatting, but you're not. You're using your voice, so it's different.
What?
You talk like a chatter.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you used to chat? Do you chat more than you talk, or talk more than you chat online?
Chat more.
Chat more. Even with your recent panel hopping activities, you still chat more.
Yep.
Yeah. You think you can go back to the chat after doing so much talking?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I don't think so. I think you're gonna
I
have to
have
start
been. What do you
going live.
mean?
No, but you've always you're here now though. That's what I'm saying. I think you're gonna continue to hit links if it's a friendly link for you, and you're gonna start chatting less, and then you'll start doing your own show by August of 2025. Very specific.
No, I know that's the normal trajectory, but I don't see that happening for me.
August 16, 2025.
Nah.
August 16. Just write
Why
it
that
down.
date?
I can't tell you all the mysteries and secrets that I have, but listen, by August 16th, 2025, you will be going live
I
with your
thought
own
that I
show.
had guessed your birthday before, but is that your birthday? Is that why?
So anybody that's listening that doesn't understand, YM has been trying to dox me for quite a while and she this is public, right? She has access to me non-publicly, but she asks me these questions publicly because she's trying to do something.
Nah.
hmm
I'm
You
just
see
trying to
that?
figure out the significance of the numbers and the dates.
Why though?
Because that's just how my brain works.
Yeah, I know. That's why I throw them out there. See that comment from Chad T, brother of a certain age? That's considerate and kind because it's in all caps. We haven't even read it yet. I don't know what it says, but because it's in all caps, it's considerate.
Where did the band go?
The what?
Chad T was asking where did the band go on Al because he wasn't really banned, even though people said he was banned.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
you can't ban nobody from sector. The day is gonna come when nobody's gonna be there, and they need somebody want to do a show, and Al is conversational. He's somebody to talk to, something to talk about. Al feeding the sector right now. So other
I
people aren't
agree.
willing to
Beautiful
come up.
comment.
Was that?
Beautiful. I
I
agree
didn't
with
like
you.
Solomon. I feel like he didn't like me too. But Solomon has always been a nice guy, and he says that no friends on YouTube, but that's bullshit. I feel like if you articulate it, then that makes it untrue. As soon as you say it, like, nah. Where you spend your time in life. Period. That means something. It matters. The people that you spend time with, it matters. You could die tomorrow or today. He's 8 feet tall and can only type in caps. No, Chad T is considerate. It took me longer to read your sentence because it had all of these exchanging cases.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Can y'all hear
Can you hear?
me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I think YM is trying to do her I can't hear you escape method. Oh, now she's gone. So what I did earlier, let me just do a little recap before I wrap.
Hello? Am I here? Thanks. What?
So he ran away, left me by myself here. Yeah, so this was about these items: the music with the lyrics demo, the cover sheet. This is a cover, and then Chantel DNA. We watched that already, and then the debate format. I'm gonna do a better debate format one with the shows the background so you can see how to set it up. And all it does is switch between two scenes based on a timer, so nobody has to get their hands dirty. And shit. Hold on a second.
Who's still here? Okay, Living Life is here. Beautiful is here.
You're not
Not niggas.
niggas.
Brother is here.
You're not
I love this scene.
niggas.
We still here, Cellulite. This must be automated now. I don't know where yours is.
Peace out, everybody. I gotta run. My nurse came home. Ah, ah, ah.